a fucking thing. I will gladly serve my country proud. I hope the voices are pleased with me. The CIA gave me a brand new job, and it's another round of arson-y. The CIA made me burn down a hospital. I still have no idea why. I hope it was full of pedophiles, because every person in there died. They say I'm a domestic terrorist just 'cause 6,000 people died. Well, the CIA told me to do it, man. Do you think that they're
What is up, hooligans, and happy freedom. Welcome to another episode of Coffee with Hooligans, where we try to make the news suck a little less. I appreciate all of you guys being here. If you're over on Rumble, please hit that like button. More likes equals more hooligans. We're going to read through the schedule really quick, and then we will be checking on all the chats, so let me know how you hooligans are doing today. Then, of course, we'll be getting everything started. We're going to be starting with the video titled Russian Spacecraft to Crash to Earth This Week. I wonder what the flat earthers think about this. Just something simple. Start the day. 50 plus years it's been in space, and now it's going to supposedly crash down on Earth. They think it's going to hit the ocean. Some of us wonder if it's going to hit California. Either way, next up, then we have black smoke rises during conclave, meaning no new pope. They think it's going to take 2 to 3 days before they figure out who the new pope is. Then we got video titled Air Traffic Controllers Lost Contact with Planes Over Newark. A bunch of problems, as you know, have been going on. Planes falling out of the sky and all of that. More airplane problems. Also, today is the first day where you are required to have real ID in order to fly in America. I don't think they bring it up in that video, but today is the day. So you gotta have real ID or a passport, or you can't fly. Not that, you know, that's a great experience right now anyways. Then we got video titled U.S. tests hypersonic aircraft advance towards China in weapons race. I've never really heard anybody call missiles aircrafts. I don't know if that's legit or not, but that's what they're calling it in this video. Then we got video titled, this is what you guys were talking about yesterday in the chat, India strikes Pakistan as tension between neighbors following terror attack reaches fever pitch. Just some details on that. Normally we don't cover foreign news, but since you guys were talking about it, I figured we'll grab a video on it. Then we got video titled Bondi and Patel announce results of historic child sex predator bust. It's not Epstein Island. It's not the Diddy files. It's just something else going on, but it is good. There's unfortunately 115 victims, but it did lead to 205 offenders being arrested. We'll see if they actually get sentenced. You know, that's what we really need. Then we got video titled Concerns Grow Over Juvenile Crime in U.S. City. Apparently the police are being targeted by teenage gangs in New York. Apparently there's teenage TDA members. They're not calling themselves Tren de Aragua. They're called something else. I don't know what they're calling themselves, but they're a subsect of TDA, and it's just badass teens. Of course, it brings up the question, can you deport teenagers? Then we got video titled Kristi Noem slams Illinois governor and sanctuary policies, and Pritzker claps back. A little back and forth between Pritzker and Kristi Noem, but really sanctuary cities are the reason we got illegals still walking around. Then we got a video titled, I don't know how you say her name, Ozturk? I don't know, one of the female pro-Palestine protesters, pro-Hamas, they are to remain in Louisiana prison for now. She's the one that was arrested on the street by feds. Then we got a video titled Antifa follows elderly woman with a cane to her car as she leaves Riley Gaines event, telling her to kill herself. This Riley Gaines event was in Seattle. I think it was yesterday. Then we got a video titled The Minnesota Supreme Court has ruled that women's breasts are not inherently sexual and can be exposed in public. I don't really know how to feel about that. They bring up good side of things and then the bad side of things. Then we'll be wrapping up the news with a video titled Lefty's Losing It. This one's titled MSNBC's Host Crazy AOC Claims. Of course, there'll be a plethora of lefties losing their marbles. Then we'll be getting into the fun stuff. We'll be opening today's door of the Advent calendar sent to us by Hair Juicer. And then we will be covering our first funny video of the day titled Baby Judge Judy Laying Down the Law. And our official funny video of the day is titled Alex Jones Tried to Warn Us. Let me see who posted this really quick so I can write it down. And it was Stoner. Stoner provided the official funny video of the day. Let me write that down. All right, so that's what's happening today. But first, we're going to read through the chat. What is up, everyone, over on jeffmaclive.com? What's up, Josh1776? What's up, Hair Juicer? What's up, Snooks? What's up, Guess MJ? What's up, Matt Rogers? What's up, Russell? Happy freedom, you hooligans. Appreciate all of you guys being on the website. And what is up, everyone, over on Rumble? MU, I think you were first today. Not 100% sure because Rumble won't let me scroll up, but appreciate you being here, MU. What's up, Elder Zoomer? Happy freedom to you. What's up, Sage Pup? Appreciate you being here. What's up, Too Old to Care? Happy freedom to you. Let me see. What's up, Pumpkin? What's up, Ghostly? Happy freedom. What's up, Gron? Appreciate you being here. What's up, Silver Wolf? Happy freedom to you. What's up, Wayward? Appreciate you joining us over here on Rumble. What's up, Turbo? Happy freedom to you. What's up, Metal Mouth? Happy freedom. What's up, Lifelike? Appreciate you being here. Don't forget, hit that like button. See if you can get us on the front page of Rumble. What's up, SOS? Happy freedom to you. And what is up, everyone over on Kick? Happy freedom, you hooligans. And what is up, everyone over on Twitch? Where's everybody on Twitch? Either way, happy freedom. And what is up, everyone over on the GoofTube? Toy Mafia, you were first over here. Matt Rogers, you're omnipresent. Appreciate you. What's up, Watchman? Wayward, you are omnipresent. What's up, Mana? Happy freedom. Silver Wolf, you are omnipresent. What's up, John? Happy freedom to you. What's up, Itchy? What's up, Juggalo? What's up, Mac and Stood? Happy freedom to you. What's up, Teasel? What's up, God Rides a Harley? Happy freedom. Wake me for the boob story. We will have someone come wake you up, God Rides a Harley. Guess some. You are omnipresent. What's up, Cheeky Chops? Happy freedom to you. What's up, Skulls? You hooligans, go ahead and hit that like button as well. Let's pull up X, see if we are live. We are live over here. Happy freedom, everyone watching over on X. Let's go ahead and get into things. Like I said, we got an easy one to start with. This is titled Russian Spacecraft to Crash to Earth This Weekend. Oh no, it's gonna buffer. Okay, just give me a second.
Cold War era.
There we go. Yes. Anyways, like I said, Russian spacecraft to crash to Earth this weekend. This is the Cosmos 482. It's been in space for 50 plus years. It was built in 1972 by the Soviet Union and was supposed to make it to Venus, but did not. Now, before we get into things, I want to remind you hooligans really quick, we have these Trump was right about everything t-shirts. Now, this design was created by Alistair, and Alistair is a badass in just about everything he does. So I will be posting his link in all of the chats for you hooligans to have the opportunity to hire him for your creative needs, because if you think it, he can create it. Now, this design does come in shirts for men, shirts for women, tank tops for men, tank tops for women, pullover hoodies, zipper hoodies, coffee mugs, dog tags. We've made long sleeve shirts out of this design. Today, I got on the Hooligan 2A tank top. We got lots of items and lots of designs over in the merch store. I'll be dropping all the links in the chats while we're watching this first video.
A Cold War-era spacecraft is about to crash land on Earth more than 50 years after it launched on a failed mission to Venus. Built by the Soviet Union in 1972, Cosmos 482 has been orbiting Earth ever since. Now, it's making an uncontrolled return, and parts of it might survive re-entry. NASA says the probe was designed to withstand Venus's brutal atmosphere, meaning debris could reach the ground. It's expected to re-enter Earth's atmosphere and could crash land between May 7th and May 13th anywhere from the US to Africa, Europe to Australia. The most likely landing spot? The ocean. But there's still a chance it could crash on land. If it does, don't touch it. Call authorities immediately.
Yeah, if it crash lands, don't go out there and steal it. Don't try and take it to the scrapyard and try and get a few doll hairs for a cookout. Nah, call the authorities. Who do you even call? Who do you call when that happens? You just call the police? Like, hey, found a UFO. That's what you gotta tell them. I found a UFO, or a UAP, I think they're calling them now. Either way. Like I said, we got an easy one to start with, so we'll just go ahead and move into the next one. This next one's titled Black Smoke Rises During Conclave, meaning no new pope. They're expecting it to take 2 to 3 days before getting a new pope. Apparently, there's 133 cardinals from 71 different countries around the world. There's a couple videos where they're talking about what color the pope's going to be. I didn't realize it was that big of a deal, but apparently they care about that stuff. Either way, hit that like button over on Rumble as well as the CommuTube, and let's get into this.
Great. Oh, there we are. Great. Perfect. Yeah, so this is the first round of votes in this very ancient and sacred tradition. And first, they started the day with a mass. Then the Cardinals, all 133 of them, took an oath of secrecy, and they were sealed off from the outside world. And we've been waiting hours and hours for this. One of the reasons we've been told by some papal experts that it could have taken so long today is that one of the reasons that it had taken so long is that these cardinals, at least 80 of them, were chosen by Pope Francis, and they're relatively new. They're not familiar with these processes, and they don't know each other. So they've been trying to get to know each other over the last couple of weeks. But it's a process.
And Sharon, this is not unexpected that we did not get a new pope today. Typically, what we were thinking it was going to be around more along the lines of 2 to 3 days until we saw the white smoke, right? Yeah, that's right. And let me just tell our viewers what happened this morning. So the Cardinals got together. First, they had a mass, and then they processed into the Sistine Chapel, very moving rituals that date back centuries, as you know. And then they had a meditation, and then everyone was asked to leave the Sistine Chapel except the 133 Cardinals from 71 different countries around the world. And that's when the actual discussion and voting began in earnest. And we are expecting tomorrow morning for them to vote twice more times, and then they take a siesta, a break. They are in Italy after all. And then in the early evening, they vote twice more again. So each time we'll be waiting eagerly and of course, it's 6 hours ahead there to see if it's white smoke or dark smoke. And they vote, Steve, for 3 days. Right. And if they haven't picked a new pontiff by then, they take a break. So we're expecting, if for some reason they do not have a pope selected by Friday, it's likely they will take Saturday off, and they don't vote on Sunday, of course, because it's a holy day. So yeah, such a fascinating ritual to watch unwind. You can see there are big crowds in the Vatican, as you mentioned, 9 o'clock their time in the evening. So a long first day. They get back at it tomorrow. Lots of expectations. The thing that's so fascinating, despite the age we live in with all this information access we have, we really don't know what takes place inside the conclave itself. That's what I think makes this so compelling to so many people. It sure is, and I'll give you a little insight. You know, I've been following, of course, Cardinal Dolan has been posting a few messages from the Archdiocese of New York, as he is one of those voting, as is Cardinal Tobin from the Archdiocese of Newark. And the one thing he said to the New York Times this morning was, well, I usually take a book in with me. And because, of course, if you've been to the Sistine Chapel, you know that Michelangelo's frescoes of the Judgment Day are right above the heads of the 33 cardinals. He said he brings a book with him, so he brought the biography of Michelangelo. Fascinating stuff, Sharon.
I like how they just randomly cut her off. They're like, that's enough. Just stop talking. I don't know. Funny stuff. I don't really know anything about picking the Pope or anything like that. You guys have been learning me because I don't know anything about it. So we're just covering it just because we covered when the Pope died, so I figure, keep these follow-ups going. Either way, next up, air traffic controllers lost contact with planes over Newark. More problems with planes. There was a different version of this video where, what is her name? Boebert. I can't think what the hell her first name is. Whatever Boebert's first name is, she was being interviewed by News Nation. She was trying to blame all these problems with airplanes falling out of the sky and all that. Lauren Boebert, that's who it is. Trying to blame it on DEI. And News Nation was like, no, it's Trump's fault. It's Trump's fault. And so, I don't know, goofy shit. They're saying that Trump should have fixed the radar system during his first term. So anything that's happened over the last, 9 years, that's Trump's fault. Any plane that's ever fallen out of the sky in the last 9 years, that's all Trump's fault. News Nation is spreading that right now. Either way, this one is a little bit more dry than that. Not so much blaming Trump for everything. Either way, it's coming up next. First, we're going to read through the chat, see what you hooligans think about this Russian spacecraft falling to Earth in the next couple days, as well as the conclave trying to pick the new pope. Pick their nose. Anyways, reading through. Guess went to a Catholic double wedding once. Wore me out like a workout. I don't know what that is. I've never been to a wedding that was real religious. They're usually really trashy. Usually the ones I get invited to, there's all kinds of chaos going on. Guess, how come George Washington didn't fix the radar? Yeah, didn't think about that. Nope. They didn't even consider it. Russell Catholic weddings are interesting. Yeah, I've never gone to a wedding that was like super religious like that. Guess I'm asking Altar Boy what takes place. Yeah, I don't know why they said that. They're like, we don't really know what happens inside there. And it's like, what are you alluding to? What are you trying to say? Seems like you got something you want to say. Russell, I do like Catholic ceremonies, traditional. You like them because they're formal? I know a lot of this stuff is like really formal. Russell, I need a beer. Yeah, I need a beer too. We all need beer. What's up, Dutton? Happy freedom to you. Free the text, and my old bread got moldy. Stupid Trump. Yeah, that's how the left is. And they didn't even buy the bread. They used EBT to buy it. You know, that's how it goes. That's why I can't stand about TikTok. You'll be on TikTok, and everything they talk about is how Trump's bad. TikTok wouldn't exist right now if Trump didn't unban it. They banned it. And then Trump got in, and he suspended the ban to give people the opportunity to try and purchase it, because it has to be like over 50% has to be owned by America, or else they are just going to ban it outright. So the only reason anybody can access TikTok is because of Trump, and then they go on that platform to bitch about Trump. It's so stupid. Just as stupid, I think we were talking about this last time, just as dumb as people going on X to bitch about Elon. That's so stupid. So stupid. Free the text, everything's Trump's fault. That's what they say. What's up, High Plains Drifter? Happy freedom. Pumpkin, you're not going to be the Pope? Well, we'll just wait and see. What's up, Tree Herder? Happy freedom to you. Oh, thank you for letting me know, MU. Snooks was first today. SOS, I'm not calling the authorities. Yeah, I don't know who you're supposed to call when that, whatever it is, the spacecraft falls out of the sky. You gotta keep it as a souvenir. Actually, you know what you do is you lay down next to it and tell them your back hurts and shit like that. Oh, I got struck by the spacecraft. I need $40 million. Which we could settle right now for $1.5 million. You just cut me a check and we'll call it a day. What's up, JT3? Happy freedom to you. Metalmouth, I haven't attended a wedding since I was a kid. The next wedding I hope to attend is my own. Hell yeah, Metalmouth. No, I haven't. I went to my sister's wedding and I was in my 20s. But before that, I'd always been a kid when I went. What's up, Meta? Happy freedom to you. What's up, Tony Rich? What's up, Shanti? Happy freedom. What's up, Lone Wolf? Air traffic controllers deregulated back in the late 70s. Trump. It's Trump's fault. It's Trump's fault they did that in the 70s. Happy freedom to you, Lone Wolf. What's up, Corey Luca? Happy freedom. No verdict in Grand Rapids. Cop had to use their bikes to stop fights and one arrest. Fools got maced on maced out, powder blasted. Corey Luca, I do not know why I can't seem to remember to find stuff for Patrick Lyoya. I might have to just find something while we're live today. I keep forgetting to do that. Well, either way, I will do my best to find a follow-up. Thank you for reminding me, Corey Luca. What's up, Mike Inkle? Happy freedom to you. Teasel Trump for Pope. That pissed some people off. Did you guys see this yesterday? Hold on. I've been showing everybody this. No, not my wiener. Hold on a second. I love this. They didn't know, okay? Nobody knew this was coming. This is Getsom's fault. You want to be mad at somebody? It's Getsom that did this right here. Pope Jeff has entered the building. Love that. Love that. I want to be buried with a picture of that. Anyways. Mac can still call the Ghostbusters. I mean, yeah, you see that spacecraft fall out of the sky, you got to call somebody. So be a blessing. Happy freedom. Tactical, call the Men in Black. Yeah, what's up, Tactical? Happy freedom. Wayward, midnight mass is fun on Christmas Eve. I don't know anything about it. Wayward, what's up with Tulsi? Haven't heard about her in a little minute. I haven't heard anything about her either. I'm trying to think. I think we saw her the last time we covered President Trump live. He was doing some meeting of some sort, and I'm pretty sure she was there. Otherwise, I haven't heard about her being in the news at all. We got Pam Bondi and Cash Patel in the news coming up a little later in the live. For the attacks at midnight mass? Nah, midnight ass. I mean, I guess. We all have our priorities. Anyways, like I said, next up, air traffic controllers lost contact with planes over Newark. It's all Trump's fault. Trump did it. Mean orange man. Anyways, hit that like button over on Rumble as well as the Commie Tube, and let's get into this.
While the Real ID deadline might inconvenience flyers, it could not come at a worse time for Newark Liberty International Airport in New Jersey. You're looking live at that airport right now. We've been talking about this all week. Since Monday, this travel hub has seen more than 750 delayed flights and had to cancel nearly 275 others due to a variety of issues, including staffing shortages for air traffic control, bad weather, aging technology. News Nation's Alicia Nieves is live at Newark this morning. Alicia, good morning to you. We're learning new details now about a communication breakdown between air traffic controllers and flights trying to land there.
Yeah, Marky, some shocking new audio just coming in the last 24 hours, really showing moments where air traffic controllers in Philadelphia were trying to guide a plane here to Newark International Airport to land, but then lost all communication with that plane. It lasted for about 90 seconds, but as you can imagine, that minute and a half felt really long when these air traffic controllers could not hear, could not see, could not talk to anyone in that plane. Just take a listen.
United 674, we radar contact lost. We lost our radar. Do I have Bravo clearance? No, you do not have a Bravo clearance. We lost our radar and it's not working correctly. We don't have a radar, so I don't know where you are.
Yeah, that confusion we later learned was due to a technical outage. And since then, several staffers have gone on trauma leave, resulting in a staffing shortage. And because operating in Newark airspace requires some special certification, controllers from other places can't just be reassigned. So this is causing a domino effect. And as with this problem, as it continues with equipment and staffing issues, continuing now for the 10th day, travelers at the very least are fed up.
What is going on? There are people sleeping here in the airport. Like, let us go home. Get it together.
Yeah, but there may be some hope on the horizon for travelers here. Transportation Secretary Sean Duffy promising to share details tomorrow of a new plan to overhaul the nation's antiquated air traffic control system. Here's what he has to say.
I started to look at the air traffic control system, and very quickly I saw one piece of the pie where there was issues, and then scratched further, and there's another piece of the pie. And as we looked at it, we see that the whole system needs to be redone. We need to build a brand new air traffic control system.
Thank you for watching.
Okay. So we'll see if we get a brand new control system. I wonder how much that'll cost. Either way, like I said, there's a lot of videos out there blaming Trump for this. It's Trump's fault that the planes are falling out of the sky. For 90 seconds, they couldn't contact control. That'd be kind of scary if you were trying to come in and land and you couldn't because you may collide with another plane, especially with everything that's been going on recently. I don't know how many plane crashes we've covered in the last year. More than ever, I know that. It's not that there's more crashes than ever, but it's so forefront in the news that we've been covering it, where in the prior years of live streaming, I haven't covered any of that stuff. It's kind of weird. Anyways, I am looking up videos on Patrick Lyoya because I can't ever remember to do that. And so I think we're going to pick one of these videos coming up next because the officer that shot Patrick Lyoya is on trial. We covered it when it first happened. It was happening here in Michigan in Grand Rapids, which is like 2 hours away from me. Patrick Lyoya was, I think, an illegal. I can't remember if he was an illegal or if he was here legally, but he was originally from outside the country. Really thick accent. He was driving a car with a suspended license, or maybe it wasn't registered. There was something illegal about the car. I think he had a suspended license on top of whatever else was going on. Immediately got out of the car when the officer pulled him over. He refused to get back in the car. He did not comply with any of the officer's orders. They decided to tango a little bit while that was happening. He grabbed the officer's taser, I think it was. Officer wrestled him to the ground. Patrick Lyoya was face down. Officer was on his back and shot him in the back of the head and killed him. There was protests initially when that happened that lasted for 2 days or 3 days. They were bussing in protesters from Minnesota and I think also from Atlanta or something like that. And despite their best efforts, they could not keep the protests going because just not enough people cared about it. Criminal being a criminal, getting shot by a cop didn't seem like a big deal at the time. Now the officer's on trial, and I don't even know what charges he's facing or anything because we got to do the follow-up. So either way, one of these 3 videos I got pulled up will be coming up next. But first, we're going to read through the chat, see what you hooligans think about air traffic controls losing contact with planes over Newark. Guess I may get a job just so I can go on trauma leave. Yeah, I'm not sure what that's about. 90 seconds they couldn't make contact with the planes and staff went home on trauma leave. And so then they were understaffed. I don't know how that works. If you take a really hard poop, can you leave on trauma leave? You know, you devastated your colon. I don't know how it works. Something with being butthurt, I'm sure. Hair juicer, trauma leave, hook a homie up. Yeah, I'm not sure what the stipulation. Let's Google it. Let's Google it. What is trauma leave? I remember the first time I got sand in my hoo-ha. Let's see. Trauma leave is a type of leave granted to employees who experience traumatic event at work, allowing them time to recover and seek necessary support. This leave is particularly relevant in situations where employees are affected by severe stress or emotional distress, such as a recent incident at Newark Liberty International Airport where air traffic controllers lost communications with aircrafts, leading some to take trauma leave. Apparently, I am not the only person Googling this shit. That is so funny. That is so funny. Okay, all right. Well, you guys make fun of me. I'm leaving on trauma leave because of my little feelings. I don't know. I'd understand if something terrible happened. A plane just collided with the cement. Everybody on board just got sprayed across the tarmac. All right, take your trauma leave. 90 seconds where you couldn't talk to people across on a computer. Gotta go home. Gotta go home. Nothing bad happened, but, we lost communication for 90 seconds. Gotta go home. Probably won't be back the rest of the week. I don't know. Sissies. Sound like sissy stuff. Guess control system is $29.99 at Temu. Yeah, I guess I'm just China monitoring the control system. Josh 1776, just be a crime scene cleaner. You could leave every day. That's right. You don't even have to work. You're just perpetually on leave. Russ, you got sand in your clam. Yeah, I guess. Guess I got all that. Pay me. Yeah, for real. They just did something like that here in Michigan. You get some sort of paid time off, and I can't remember what it is. I don't know if it's sick leave, but it's something kind of goofy that we have never had before. Whitmer is screwing Michigan up. Tree herder, DEI, die hard. Yeah. Pam Bondi was speaking earlier today. We got one video where they did what they're saying is the biggest bust of pedophiles. But earlier today they were doing a presser about a huge drug bust that they did. And she was making claims that if you are trafficking drugs and all of that she's going to bring everybody against you. And she mentions DEI agents. She's like, I'll have DEI agents come after you and all this other stuff. And I was like, what is a DEI agent? So I looked it up. It's not a real thing. It is straight up not a real thing. DEI agents. It was Google was like, you mean like I can't remember what it's like, a counselor. You mean DEI counselor? I was like, no, this bitch is telling me it's a DEI agent. I don't know what that is. She's like, I'll send DEI FBI agents after you. And I was like, no, don't. Don't do that. I don't know. I'm sure she just slipped up, but it was pretty funny. I mean, if you're going to mess it up, go big. Guess some boobs traumatized me, so don't show me any. See, I have the the opposite problem of that. Guess some. I'm traumatized by not seeing boobs. I have to live in fear, and I need trauma leave because of it. Kirk Allen joining us over here on Rumble. Happy freedom to you. Pumpkin, I have stress somewhere. Yeah. Gotta get that paid time off. Ghostly, each plane could have 300 people. They could have killed 1,000 people in 90 seconds. Those people smoke themselves all the time. I get it. I mean, I guess, but you got the guy that cleans the bathrooms. He's like, I need to leave for trauma leave. And it's like, no, dude. I don't know. People are soft. Free Think of Texan. Sounds like I'm a big sissy leave. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe we're just hardened. MU had the best wedding ever. The judge, 2 secretaries as witnessed us. Perfect. Badass MU. SOS, did you see the orange smoke? No, I didn't see it. Pope Trump, he's been selected. Pope Jeff, is that why he cut his hair? Let me see. Where is that? Damn, chat just updated. No, that's not why I cut my hair. It was formal, though. Just in case they pick me as Pope. I want to make sure I look okay. Pumpkin trauma leave. Never heard of that. Never heard of that either. What's up, 5D? Happy freedom to you. For the Texan, if Jeff became Pope, he would never be able to get any booty the rest of his life. Well, I keep telling you, God's got a funny sense of humor. If he was going to do that to anybody, it'd be me. Well, thank you, Rappy. I appreciate the compliment. Silverwolf, he said Google, now my phone's all tripping out. Yeah, it happens. What's up, Pag? Happy freedom to you. What's up, Southern Eagleman? What's up, Rich? What's up, Guess Who? Happy freedom. Guess Who? What happened in New Jersey? Guess Who says, New Jersey is a shithole. Everyone there should be forced to use a public bus with one bathroom. What happened? How did that get brought up? What's up, Hooligans Island? Happy freedom to you. What's up, Agent O? Happy freedom to you. What's up, Bob? Happy freedom. Come on, stupid thing. Wayward. When did what happen? The control thing? I think it happened yesterday. Pretty sure. I don't have it wrote down. I'm pretty sure it happened yesterday. I'm sure the video is from today, though. Yeah, 8 hours ago. So, yeah, I think it happened yesterday. Either way, we're going to get into this next video that I'm adding to the schedule here. Let me see which one we're going to choose. I got 3 of them pulled up, but I want to pick the one that's going to matter the most. And I don't know which one that's going to be because I can't listen to any of them before we play them. Let's try this. We'll see how this goes. This is titled... let me write this down. That way you guys can have the receipt tomorrow when I put everything together. Alright, this is titled Jury Deliberations Continue as Ex-Officer Trial in the Death of Patrick Lyoya. Like I was saying, Patrick Lyoya was... I don't know if he migrated here or if he was here illegally. I'm not sure. All I know is he had a thick accent. I don't think he was originally from here. He had some legal matter stuff going on. He was either on a suspended license or something under those kind of, in that lane there. He was pulled over Immediately got out of the car before the officer even got out of the car. Officer gave him orders to go back into the vehicle. He refused to do that. The officer was very cool about the whole situation, even though he was not following any commands. Eventually, a scuffle happened. They were fighting, wrestling back and forth. He grabbed the officer's taser. I can't remember if he grabbed his pistol or not, but he ended up with the officer's taser. At one point, he ended up face down on the ground, officer sitting on his back, and shot him in the back of the head and killed him. And like I said, there was protests for like 3 days, but they had to bus in protesters to make it happen. And even with all their efforts, the protest died down because everyone just saw a criminal get smoked, basically. Even the body cam footage came out and everyone was like, well, yeah, follow orders, he won't get shot in the back of the head. But now that the trial's here, it seems that people are pissed off and protesters are out kicking stuff up again. Hopefully this is a well-rounded story here. I don't really know. I just had to search it. Haven't got to watch it yet, so I'm excited to see what this is. Once again, this is titled Jury Deliberations Continue in Ex-Officer Trial in the Death of Patrick Lyoya.
Running high outside the Grand Rapids courtroom where a jury is deliberating the fate of former police officer Christopher Schur. Schur is accused of murdering Patrick Lyoya during a traffic stop in 2022. Cameras caught the action as demonstrators who support Schur clashed with those backing Lyoya's family. And police on bicycles had to step in to break it all up. NBC's Grand Rapids affiliate reports that one of the protesters was arrested. Meantime, inside the courtroom, after 2 days of deliberations, the jury says that it's deadlocked on a verdict in the Christopher Schur trial. On Tuesday, the judge told the jury, keep trying, before sending them home for the day. Members of the jury deliberated for about 10 hours when they told the judge around 3 o'clock that they could not reach a verdict. Schur is charged in the April 2022 shooting death of Patrick Lyoya after that traffic stop in Grand Rapids. The jury has 3 options: second-degree murder, manslaughter, or not guilty. And we are going to be streaming the verdict live on Local 4 Plus and click on Detroit.com.
Okay. Now, hopefully they come up with a not guilty verdict, because I think the officer was being pretty cool about the situation. I mean, it's not cool that, you had to shoot that guy. But the officer gave him a lot of chances. A lot of chances. Let me see if I can find a short video of them wrestling around that doesn't show him get shot in the head. Really quick. So just like a reminder, because we covered this a lot when it was going on. Let me see. I think we should be okay showing this. Now, I'm not going to play the audio because I think they're talking over it, and we don't need to hear the audio. I just want to show you guys a reminder of what happened. Okay, so this is going to be a little bit of the body cam footage. Obviously, in this point of view, we are strapped to the officer. Whoops. He's already pulled over Patrick Lyoya. Patrick Lyoya, like you can see, is already standing out of the car. We're going to watch this for a little bit. I don't think it's the whole deal, but this is just a reminder of why the officer's on trial in the first place. So you can see him fighting off the cop, right? He's refusing to be arrested, fleeing. This is them scuffling in the yard. Officer has taser. Now I think Patrick Lyoya has a taser at this point. Now, I can't remember if he grabbed his gun or what exactly happened, but this is about the end right here. They're wrestling on the ground. Okay, like I said, they didn't show the end of it, but they get wrestling around on the ground. The officer gets up, shoots him right in the back of the head, and kills him. That's the controversial part. Now, you can see them tangling. The guy wanted it. But, I don't know what he thought he was going to do. He's going to break away from the cop and just live happily ever after. It never works out like that. So, I don't know. The controversial part, like I said, is the fact that he shot him in the back of the head. Some people felt that if you got someone face down on the ground, that they're subdued. That you don't need to shoot them at this point. But I want to say he had the taser or something like that of the officer still in his possession. So, I don't really know. But either way, cops on trial. There's your reminder. We'll follow up with the story after this. Next up, U.S. tests hypersonic aircraft advance toward China in weapons race. Now, they're talking about a hypersonic missile, but throughout this whole video, they refer to it as a hypersonic aircraft. Now, I don't know if that's right or not. I feel like an aircraft is something that has passengers, right? Like a plane is an aircraft. But I could be wrong. I don't know. It just sounds weird the whole time they're talking in this video. But either way, that's what's coming up next. First, we're going to read through the chat, see what your hooligans think about this officer on trial for the death of Patrick Lyoya. 1 second. Holy. Anyways. Snooks, I'll always be on the fence with that one. Yeah. Russell, I'm pissed off because people are pissed off. Yeah, that's how it goes. Josh 1776, you're giving advice there in the chat. Hair juicer. I can't read that out loud. Now with Twitch and YouTube watching. That's a good one though. Josh 1776, yes. Yes. Oh yeah, do you play on PC? I have Grand Theft Auto 5. I don't have anybody to play with though. Done. People are dumb. What did they think after the scuffle? He was just going to say, "Welp, you got me." Yeah, I guess. But like I said, even though they brought protesters up here and they got mad, they didn't do anything. They didn't burn anything down. They marched around the streets for a few hours and then called it a day. But after they bust them back home, nobody else was mad. Everyone was like, well, yeah, like that's what happens. You fight a cop, you take their weapons from them, they're going to mess you up. They're going to put you on your head and nobody's going to care about it. And then, they proved it. They proved it. So we'll see how this trial goes. I'm wondering about the jury selection. I wonder what the jurors look like. Sage Pup, it's simple. Don't do criminal shit and you won't get shot by a cop. Yeah. I glow in the dark, but I don't mess around. Please start messing with me. I'm like, whatever you want. Just don't shoot me in the face. Shoot me anywhere but the face. I don't want to I don't want to have a closed casket funeral. Kevin, it's warm and muggy where you are. Yeah, it's pretty humid here. Happy freedom to you, Kevin. Silver Wolf, if the jury's hung, we'll see fires. We'll see. There's not that many people in Grand Rapids that care. I mean, they're trying to make it seem like they do, but there weren't that many mad people when it happened. They're going to be mad a year later or 2 years later or however long it's been, So we'll see. Time will tell. It is getting warm outside and people do need something to do, so maybe they'll go ahead and protest. Free the Texan, they're scared to let him off the hook. That's why I was saying that I wonder what the jury selection looks like. Because he's looking at second-degree murder, manslaughter, or innocent. And I don't know. Maybe he's not innocent, but I kind of feel like it's leaning towards innocent. But I can't imagine they're going to give him murder. There's just, I don't know. I just don't see that. He was doing his job. The guy was a threat. I can't remember what he was already in trouble for. He was already in trouble for something. And it was like drug distribution or something. It was something. He was in trouble for something. And he was like on probation or he was waiting a court hearing or something, and then this had happened. And so I don't know. I think they might give him manslaughter, but I feel like it could be innocent too. Kevin, I don't like muggy. Yeah, I don't like humidity either. Guess I'm comply and don't die. Yeah, Josh 1776. I gotta figure out how we can play GTA 5 because I haven't been able to play with anybody. I've had it for a while. I just started playing it again not that long ago. Guess if I was on jury duty, it'd be hung jury by my presence. That's why they don't call you guess That right there. I was going to make coffee and I decided not to because last time I couldn't clear my damn throat. So I got orange juice instead, and here I am in the same damn boat. Master Meatball can be murder 1. No, they're trying to give him second-degree murder. What's up, Master Meatball? Happy freedom to you. What's up, Tim Mack? Happy freedom to you. I don't know what you guys are talking about in the YouTube chat. All right, hooligans. We're going to move into this next one. Like I said, this is titled U.S. Test Hypersonic Aircraft Advancing Toward China in Weapons Race. Now, they're talking about a missile, but they keep referring to it as an aircraft, so I don't know. Something weird. It's News Nation. Maybe they're trying to make it scary. I don't really know. Either way, before we get into this, I want to remind you hooligans really quick, if you'd like to participate in Free Speech Saturday, make sure you post all of your memes over on Discord or on jeffmaclive.com. Just hop in the group chats on either platform. You'll see the tabs labeled memes. Drop what you got and we'll shout you out as we're making Saturdays more fun. Hit that like button and let's get into this.
It is a 21st century arms race, and the United States is picking up speed here. Pentagon officials touting successful test flights of hypersonic aircraft, really helping the U.S. close the gap with our enemies and other global military giants.
The coin of the realm in the 21st century is speed.
The Pentagon announcing this week that the U.S. has successfully completed 2 test flights of a reusable hypersonic aircraft, opening the door to more rapid development of arms that can travel more than 5 times the speed of sound. It's a major step in shoring up the U.S. military's war technology deficit with China and Russia, which already have hypersonic weapons at their disposal.
Our adversaries are not resting, and neither will we.
The missiles can attack from great distances and maneuver in ways that trick adversaries and dodge traditional defenses. They can carry explosives as well as nuclear warheads.
The nature of a hypersonic weapon is to close in time any actor's kill chain.
Facing pressure from Congress to ramp up progress on hypersonic vehicles.
There is no better deterrent than readiness.
The Pentagon, whose funding for their development has lagged over the years, tapped 2 tech startups for the test flights, Stratolaunch and Ursa Major. The autonomous drone named Talon A, which was carried up from the Mojave Desert by a larger rock carrier aircraft, was launched in December and March over the Pacific Ocean before achieving Mach 5, the hypersonic threshold, and successfully landing both tests, according to the Department of Defense. And the vehicle's status as reusable is key, allowing the Talon A to get put back to work quickly. The test campaign marks the United States' first return to reusable hypersonic flight testing since the manned X-15 program ended almost 60 years ago, and emphasizes the cruciality of advancing American hypersonic arms.
Who does things faster wins.
And a former Defense Department senior official tells the Wall Street Journal that since the late 1960s, China has tested hypersonic flights at about 10 times the rate of the United States.
Thank you for watching. Subscribe below and download our new...
Okay. So talking about their hypersonic aircraft, I don't know. I like that they mentioned that it's capable of carrying nuclear weapons, but we don't ever use nuclear weapons. And we were just talking about how we're optimizing our nuclear weapons, and we were talking about that I think a week ago, maybe 2 weeks ago. And it's interesting where we talk about that kind of stuff because we don't ever use that stuff, so we just use it to kind of be a deterrent to other people and stuff like that. And I don't know, hopefully nobody calls our bluff. That's all I know. I don't know why we're always worrying about this stuff. I guess it's just for those reasons alone, that it's a deterrent. So we need to have super fast aircrafts that can create mass damage so we can never use them. We just need to flex on other people and spend a bunch of money doing it so nobody comes and does something to us. I guess that's it. I guess that's the point. Because if we're not going to use it, then why we spend so much money on it? But whatever. Either way, next up, India strikes Pakistan as tensions between neighbors following terror attack reaches fever pitch. Now, like I said earlier, normally we don't cover foreign problems. But you guys were watching this yesterday and talking about it in the chat, so I figured we'd grab a video on it. It's coming up next, but first we're going to read through the chat and see what you hooligans think about this hypersonic aircraft. Russell, peace by strength? Yeah. It's an airplane delivery system. I couldn't figure out what they were talking about, if it was the missile itself or the craft that carries the missile. Guess India lost 4 planes today. Oh, I see. I think the video I saw said 3, but it's probably... the numbers are probably going up. Guess Mach 5, the SR-72 does Mach 6 plus. Yeah, I don't know anything about any of that stuff. Russell, missile technology is aircraft. I see. Because I couldn't figure that out. Josh F276, you saw 6 planes went down? Yeah, I only had seen 3, but the video was a couple hours old. For the attacks and intimidation, yeah, basically. Pumpkin, China, China, China. The media loves China. They do. I don't know if that's from Cold War stuff or like what that is, but yeah, China in the news makes everybody click it. Pumpkin, I'm sure he was a good boy. Patrick Lyoya, yeah. I'm interested to see how the trial goes. We'll probably have more another follow up on that tomorrow. I think. What day is it? Is it Wednesday? It is Wednesday. Yeah, maybe tomorrow we'll have a follow up on it. Kevin, the Germans had UFO technology back in the 30s. They built 2 models, the Hannibal and the Deadlocked. I've heard all kinds of stuff that Germany supposedly had back in the day. I don't know. I don't know what to believe or not believe. Sage Pup, do you know about us bombing Yemen and wiping out the Houthis a few nights ago? Yeah, I mean, it was a while ago. I don't know anything about anything recent, but when they were trying to say that Pete Hegseth was in trouble because of the things he was posting in the Signal chat, it was about the location of the Houthis being striked. And a day or two after it was posted in the chat, supposedly that's when it happened. But then they turned around and said that the location was never actually posted in the Signal chat, that it was lies from journalists, some of the same journalists that were pushing the Russia deal. Anything since then, though, I don't know anything about it. What's up, Tony Rez? Happy freedom to you. Master Meatball, there is no deterrence against people for whom death is an honorable way into heaven. Yeah, that's true. Master Meatball, you need to join Discord. Instead of trying to build stuff from scratch, that's what we've been doing on Discord for 5 years. Hooligans Island got an old massive satellite heading towards Earth. Yeah, we covered it in the beginning. What's up, FEMA region? Happy freedom to you. FEMA region is probably called an aircraft until it's loaded with a warhead, then it's a missile. Oh, that definitely could be. I didn't even think about that. That definitely could be. Weird. Reading some of your guys' conversations. Anyways, let's go ahead and move forward here. Like I said, this next video is India strikes Pakistan as tension between neighbors following terror attack reaches fever pitch. In this video, they've said that 31 people have been killed so far. I don't know what it is now. I don't remember if they mentioned how many aircrafts have been taken down, but like I said, one of these videos, because I've watched 4 or 5 of them before I landed on this, at the time they were saying 3, I think it was 3 aircrafts have been taken down, but we'll see how it goes. Hit that like button over on Rumble as well as the CommuTube, and let's get into this.
India launched a major military offensive against Pakistan Wednesday, killing at least 31 people and wounding dozens more in airstrikes that targeted 9 alleged terrorist sites. Pakistan has condemned the strikes as an act of war. The Indian military says Operation Sindoor hit camps linked to militant groups Jaish-e-Mohammed and Lashkar-e-Taiba, groups India blames for the April 22nd massacre of 26 tourists in Indian-controlled Kashmir. Officials claim the camps were used for recruitment, training, and storing weapons. Pakistani officials say missiles landed in Pakistan-administered Kashmir and Punjab province and accuse India of also hitting 2 mosques. Meanwhile, at least 7 people were killed in Indian-controlled Kashmir from artillery exchanges. Pakistan says it shot down 3 Indian fighter jets in retaliation, with 2 crashing in Kashmir and 1 in Punjab. Prime Minister Shehbaz Sharif vowed a robust response, calling the strikes a deliberate escalation. India's Prime Minister Narendra Modi oversaw the strikes, but is yet to comment publicly. The military celebrated on social media, declaring, "Justice serves, Jai Hind." U.S. Secretary of State Marco Rubio urged restraint from both sides, while President Trump called the conflict a shame and hoped for a quick end. The name Operation Sindoor references the vermilion red worn by Hindu widows, a symbolic nod to the men killed in the tourist attack that sparked the strikes.
For more stories just like these.
Okay. Well, I don't know how much of a follow-up we're going to have. I guess it depends on how things go from here. They claim that the strike was retaliation, but we'll see. We'll see. Next up, Bondi and Kash Patel announce results of historic child sex predator bust. It's not Epstein Island and it's not the Diddy case. It's some on its own. They're saying there was 115 victims. Then Pam Bondi says, if convicted, which makes me feel concerned. They also mentioned that we have no right to privacy on the internet, which is a weird thing to say because you do. That's why when you go to websites that has that pop-up for cookies and shit, that's so your right to privacy is not being infringed. So I don't know why they said that. They list multiple CSC offenders, criminal sexual conduct offenders, that have been arrested. I think the last one they mentioned was actually an officer in D.C. I might have misheard that, but that's what it sounded like. They busted 205 offenders. They've been charged in 1 week. So we'll see who else they get off the streets there. Let me see. Oh, and then at the end, there's a nice little part where they bitch about Pam Bondi and Kash Patel. At the end, they walk away, and the people at the press are just bitching on camera about how the whole press deal went. And speaking of press briefings, we were going to cover the press briefing earlier today. It was supposed to happen at 1 p.m. Eastern time. I was all set to cover it, and then they canceled last minute. So I'll just read to you really quick what it says. It says, given the president's press engagement in the Oval, the press briefing by the press secretary will take place on a later day. But there was nothing on President Trump's schedule about any meetings in the Oval Office. He was supposed to be meeting with J.D. Vance. They were supposed to be having lunch together. And so I feel like maybe it's this whole India-Pakistan thing. Maybe they were discussing that. Maybe something else important happened. But it was a really weird way that they canceled the press briefing. Right Side Broadcasting was live. They were going to show it. And then all of a sudden they just ended the live and didn't say anything. And so, like I said, we keep an eye on President Trump's public schedule. And it had been changed saying that they had canceled the press briefing. So it'll be interesting when we get another press briefing. Hopefully tomorrow we'll cover it just to see, like, why did they cancel it on top of, everything else going on. Either way, like I said, next up we got Pam Bondi and Kash Patel announce results of historic child sex predator bust. It's coming up next, but first we're going to read through the chat, see what you Hooligans think about India and Pakistan not getting along. Snooks, it was odd that they canceled it. Yeah, well, I think it's interesting that they provided an excuse or a reason of sorts. Normally they don't say anything. It's It either goes or it don't. And usually if it don't, it's because something else is going on and the schedule is overlapping. Well, at least that's what they did with the Biden administration, but we'll see how it goes. Russell, tons of scammers are from India. Yeah, I don't know why that is. I don't know if the kids just learned that in school or what. Russell, Pakistan has harbored terrorists for years. Yeah. Yeah, these people are always fighting. That's why we don't normally cover it. Tony Rez, India backed by Russia, Pakistan backed by America. Both have nukes. Should be okay. Not sure what could go wrong. Hopefully they'll figure it out. What's up, Dusto? Happy freedom to you. Dusto, for the privacy question, I believe she meant in parent-child relationship. Maybe that's what it was. She was in the middle of discussing that if your child's online, they may be befriended by a predator pretending to be another child. And then she stopped to say, your child does not have the right to privacy on the internet. And so I don't know. It was like a weird way that she said it. Rappy, it's been raining pretty much all week here and supposed to be most next week too. Sorry to hear that, Rappy. It's better than snow though. Kevin, stupid rain. I want to go fishing. I thought it was good to fish in the rain, because the water drops on the water make fish think that they're bugs. Maybe that's just a Michigan thing. I don't know. I haven't actually said that to anybody else. My grandpa used to say that to me when I was just a young lad. Too old to care. Yes, DC officer with a prior. Yeah, see, that's what I thought I heard. Too old to care. Yeah, a police officer who already had prior charges. And I was like, did I hear that right? Because why would you let him be a cop if he had prior charges? Stoner, exploding sex goats? No, we don't have that on the schedule. Free the attacks in India declared full-on war. I keep hearing that, but I can't find it anywhere. Let's see. Because we looked it up yesterday. Maybe it's changed. India has not officially declared war on Pakistan, but it has launched significant military operations in response to a terrorist attack in Pahalgam last month. And then it says India carried out missile strikes targeting 9 sites in Pakistan, and Pakistan administered that's what it is, administered Kashmir, which is referred to as Operation Sindoor. But yeah, they're not necessarily at war yet, I guess. We'll see how it goes. Done. I've heard it too. Rain draws fish. Yeah. When I was young, that's what they used to say. Kevin, you want to stand out in the rain and get soaked, you go right ahead. I'm not stopping you. Well, I just meant, you get yourself a nice hat, a little raincoat, a case of beer. You can drink while you fish, right? Like, that's a legal thing. That's not something that everybody I know does illegally. And 2 beers in, you're not worried about the rain. You're just having yourself a time. It'd be all right. I don't know. Sounds like a time to me. Russell, bring out the inflatable sheep. No. It's not that time. For the text, maybe it was Pakistan that declared it. Well, let's look it up. Because I don't know anything about it. So we'll just learn this stuff together. Nope. Not yet. Not yet. They are saying that these attacks are an act of war, but war hasn't been declared yet. There hasn't been a war declaration yet. What's up, Hank? Happy Freedom. What's up, Light Rain? Happy Freedom to you. Hey, Gino, not Diego. Diego's little friend. I can't remember what the... Oh, now I remember. Yeah, we got to rename the sheep. Russell too funny with the name last time. Man, are you getting everyone pissed off over on YouTube? It happens. Vinny C, India, Pakistan, another distraction? Definitely could be. Like I said, normally we don't cover it, but you guys were all talking about it in the chat yesterday, so I was like, yeah, let's find a video on it. Guess Pakistan just informed India that their extended car warranty is about to expire. What's crazy is how many people have said that. I was trying to avoid it, but you know, 6 times the charm. Either way, like I said, we'll get into this next one. This is Pam Bondi and Kash Patel. They announce results of a historic child sex predator bust. This is kind of a lengthy video, but they're busting pedophiles, so I figured we might as well listen to the good news. Now, before we get into this, I want to remind you hooligans really quick, if you would like to join the membership program over on Rumble, all you have to do is click that big red subscribe button right below where you type in the chat. Now, if you're on Android and you're using the Rumble app, you're unable to see that big red subscribe button. So you got to go to rumble.com, come to the live, hop in the chat, and like I said, right below where you type in the chat, you will see that big red subscribe button. Click that button and jump through the hoops, and your name will be highlighted as an official Rumble hooligan. You'll have access to our custom emojis. We got chapstick emojis, scream and goat emojis, Klaus Daniels emojis, President Trump emojis, and more. It's a lot of fun during the live, especially during a Trump live. So definitely go join the membership program over on Rumble. Let's get into this. Kash Patel and Pam Bondi telling us on how they're busting pedophiles. And you're not allowed to write pedophile in the chat or as your title on Twitch because they sympathize with them? I don't know. It's a really weird thing. I had to write ped. I couldn't write pedo or pedophile or anything. Twitch is really weird about that. I don't know. I don't think they like me talking bad about their pedophiles. But either way, hit that like button over on Rumble as well as the Commie Tube. And let's get into this.
Arrest of 205 child sex predators. Unbelievable. In just 5 days. This was an incredible operation done in conjunction with the FBI and our prosecutors. Children and their families now have a chance to heal. These are online predators. Think about this. 115 victims, children. In 5 days, we were able to help. This kind of work takes a toll on the FBI agents and the prosecutors who are doing this every single day. They are working tirelessly online, dealing with the dregs of our society, the worst of the worst, the people that hide behind a computer and target our young children every single day. Our law enforcement, our prosecutors sit there and deal with this every day to get these monsters off the street. Director Patel and I, almost daily in our meetings, talk about these cases and what it does to our officers and our prosecutors, but also how many lives are being saved and how many children are being helped by this. Director Patel is going to get into the specific cases with you in a minute, but what I will tell you is these depraved human beings, if convicted, will face the maximum penalty in prison, some life. We will find you, we will arrest you, and we will charge you. If you are online targeting a child, you will not escape us. The FBI and the Department of Justice will come after you, and we will prosecute you. Parents, you have to know, this is so serious. Your child has no right to privacy on the internet. None. You have to monitor what your kids are doing, whether they're playing games on the internet, on social media. any other websites that children, teenagers frequent, an online predator can find them. I always say it's from instant message to instant nightmare. Parents, they're talking to your kids like they're other children, and they're not. They're predators. They pose as children. They get them sometimes to post explicit pictures of themselves after they talk to them. And then in some cases, they even try to blackmail the children. The suicide rate among teens ages 14 to 17 has increased as a result of this as well, because teens are taken advantage of and they're manipulated online by child predators. So all of you being here today and covering this is so important, because parents need to know. You've got to talk to your kids. They think they're talking to other children, but most of the time they're not. Director Patel, thank you.
First and foremost, to the Department of Justice under General Bondi's leadership and all its components, because of your courage, we are here today protecting our most vulnerable, our children. Thank you, General Bondi. Thank you to so many of your colleagues here today that do this work tirelessly day in and day out and never get a moment's thanks. We should acknowledge all of them today. As the FBI director, I'm humbled to lead some of the bravest men and women in law enforcement, and I want to thank our 55 field offices, our 90-plus United States Attorney's offices, our CIOS section, our CRIM division here at the Department of Justice, and our field offices throughout the country with lawyers and prosecutors and agents working tirelessly on some of the harshest criminality we've ever seen. They don't take breaks because our children deserve a free and open society. I also want to just take a moment to emphasize the priority of this Department of Justice and this FBI. Our children. If you harm our children, you will be given no sanctuary. There is no place we will not come to hunt you down. There is no place we will not look for you. And there is no cage we will not put you in should you do harm to our children. The prioritization of this administration and General Bondi has made it abundantly clear to child predators, you will be hunted down and you will be prosecuted. And that is a refreshing thing to hear for the men and women who do this work tirelessly. And it's also an acknowledgement of the safety that we look forward to bringing America. As the Attorney General mentioned, there are a couple of cases worth highlighting. People in places of public trust have violated not only the law, but that public trust, to include teachers, law enforcement personnel, and other professionals that we look to safeguard our children have not only violated the law, but violated the trust. In Minneapolis, defendant Jeremy Francis Plonsky, a Minneapolis state trooper and former Army reservist, was arrested for producing child sexual abuse material while in uniform. Not anymore. In Norfolk, Virginia, defendant Jose Alexis Valdez Sosa, an illegal immigrant from Mexico, again, allegedly arrested for transporting a minor across state lines. No more. Another example, right here in Washington, D.C., in the Metropolitan Police Department, Officer Linwood Barnhill, a former already convicted sex offender, was arrested again for exploiting more victims, more children, while on supervised release. These are just three examples that show you the extent and the depravity of these horrific crimes. And we need to team up together with the American public to find the rest. I want to give a special thanks to the National Center for Missing and Exploited Children for the tireless work they do in partnering with us. And again, I want to thank the Department of Justice and all these folks here. And Pam, thank you for never wavering to defend our children.
Thank you. Thank you, Director Patel. And this ranges from, we have cases from California to New York to Florida, our entire country. And just in 1 week, again, 115 victims we have. 205 offenders have been charged in 1 week, thanks to the FBI. So think what's happening throughout this country. Children are being taken advantage of, and we have to stop it. Thank you for covering this very important topic today. Thank you.
Will you guys take a few questions? This is a really important topic. It's a press conference.
No, thank you.
Come on, guys. It's a press conference. Press conference, you bring us here, you answer a few questions, even on topic. guys, it's different getting it from the two nations, two top law enforcement officials on an issue like this. If this is a priority, they should take questions.
She took questions at the White House this morning, and she took questions at a press conference yesterday.
Like, these are reporters.
Yesterday. Okay. Like I said, you can send us your follow-up.
The reporter's bitching at the end it just smokes me. As soon as you hear that voice, you know that they spend a good portion of their day scrolling on TikTok. They got TikTok brain rot. Like, are you guys gonna like take some questions? You know, like it's really important. They all sound like that. They all sound like that. That's the biggest brainwashing website for women is TikTok. They all sound like that. Young 20-year-old women all sound just like that. They all do. Even in Canada, they sound like this. It's like, holy shit. No good. No good. Either way, 115 victims, which is bad, but 205 offenders have been charged in 1 week. It's good stuff. I wish they'd go do something about the Epstein Island stuff. You know, see what's going on with that since they have all the information. But either way, busting a pedo is still good news. Now, I want to see these people actually get convicted. As 205 people have been charged. That's not a conviction. That just means somebody pointed the finger and called the police at them. So we want to see these people actually go to prison for doing bad things. And hopefully we see those numbers go up. We want all the pedophiles removed from the streets and Epstein Island and all of that. Anyways, next up, concerns grow over juvenile crime in U.S. City. I don't know why they worded it like that. Yesterday, or maybe it was over the weekend, two officers, I think it was two police officers, were targeted by a teen gang. There's a subsect of Trende Aragua. These teens, I don't know what they're calling themselves, something. But it's a group of illegals. They are teenagers, and they were throwing and hitting random stuff at officers. They were attacking officers. They're going to play the footage. And they go back and forth about why this is happening. Now, this, I believe, is a Fox video, and the reporter talking to the guy being interviewed is pretty harsh against him, which is good because we want to know, why do we keep letting illegals beat our officers and steal from us and kill us and rape us and kidnap us and squat in our houses? And like, why is this allowed to happen? They're illegal. Make them go away before somebody else does. And this guy is basically blaming sanctuary city policies, that they're not allowed to do anything about these illegals. And with them being teens, even if they get arrested, the punishment is near nothing because they're minors. So it's not like they can go to, you know, real jail or anything like that. So it's a perpetual shithole in New York City. We kind of knew that, but we got new problems. So covering that next, but first we're going to read through the chat, see what you hooligans think about this historic child predator bust that Pam Bondi and Kash Patel just did. Happy Freedom, Sam. You hooligans are cracking me up. Yeah, the reporter had TikTok brain. Russell, swing around child predators by their nuggets. I mean, they need something. They deserve treatment that I can't describe while I'm live. Sam, the stupid libs are making light of what Bondi and Patel are doing because they're that way. That's how liberals are. The whole LGBTXYZ movement is the gay pride movement that was hijacked by pedophiles. That's the whole deal. All the liberals with rainbow hair and all that, all the people who support trans, they're just pedophile sympathizers. That's it. That's it. There's gay people, and then there's these sex offenders and these pedophiles out here and the people that sympathize with them. And that's the thing, is nobody declares the difference, you know, and I don't know. It's just a whole shitty thing that's going on. And so, yeah, the liberal crying more about taking questions than the fact that they just arrested 205 pedophiles, got them off the streets. I mean, yeah, it sucks that you might have had questions, but to sit there and just bitch about it, I don't know. Worthless. Russell, kids are easily manipulated, so they end up with no privacy. Kids are dumbasses. Yeah. Russell, I'm glad the scum have been arrested. I hope they actually get convictions. Hopefully they actually go to prison like they deserve. What's up, Zero? Happy freedom. Dusto, fire up the wood chippers. Yep. Stoner, you cooking us dinner? Thank God, because I'm starving. Pumpkin whiny media. Yeah, they're whining all right. What's up, Cyberpunk? Happy freedom to you. Done. She should never speak in public. Fuck that voice. Yeah. TikTok brain. Kevin, maybe these arrests are because of the Epstein stuff. I don't know. I was thinking that too, but if it was that way, they'd be upfront taking publicity for it, because that was the whole Binder thing. They came out phase 1 of the Epstein files, and they told the whole internet. I mean, they told everybody. They made the biggest deal about it that they could. They wrote on the front of those binders, most transparent administration in history, you know, because they want all the glory. And then what they give us? Redacted information, where we already had the information unredacted years ago. So I think if this was related to the Epstein stuff, they would have admitted it so people wouldn't keep asking for it. Because right now, that's kind of the stain on Pam Bondi's record right now, is everybody is waiting for her to release the Epstein stuff, and she ain't. She hasn't done it yet. And so everyone's like, you know, that's why they're calling her Scam Bondi and all of that. So I don't know. It seems like it'd be very easy to go and arrest pedophiles, considering they already have all the information from Epstein Island, but they haven't. And it's good that they busted these 205 guys, but I don't think it's related. For the attacks, about time the FBI does something. I'm saying. And 205 people charged in a week is really good. Let's hear those numbers in a month. Let's see where it sounds like in 3 months. I want quarterly updates. Tell us how many pedophiles you've been busting quarterly. You know, like, because 205 is great, but if you guys are really doing that kind of work, I expect 1,000 in the next 3 months. Let's hear that. 1,000 pedophiles taken off the streets. You know, I don't want to see these stupid publicity stunts where they're just like, yeah, look, really great thing, and then for the next, 3 years we don't hear shit. Like, I don't want it to be like that. Energy Woman, happy freedom to you. Name them out loud right now. Absolutely. It's weird with the officer. You know, the officer had priors and still was an officer. Like, what about the things that nobody caught him doing? That's what I really worry about. Pumpkin has stopped raining. Thank goodness. Stoner, unless you did it at a Diddy party or Epstein party, yeah. Those are the only people she ain't busting. I wonder why. Cyberpunk, you know that Trump was on the flight logs? Yeah, but not to the island. He was on the flight logs, but there's no evidence of him going to the island. Yet. That's been released yet, up to this point. Stoner, it's a stain on Bill Gates' trousers. Well, I wasn't going to bring that up, but yeah. Guess some media reporters traumatized me. Yeah, we need trauma leave. That woman's voice was too much. Thank you, Zero. I'm more aerodynamic now. Meta, gag me with a spoon. I'm not sure what that reference is. It sounds like sexy talk to me. Master Me Ball, then let's coordinate FOIAs. There is somebody doing FOIAs, and I can't remember who it is. We covered it, I want to say a week ago. There is a group of people who are filing FOIAs, and they're suing the government for not releasing the Epstein documents. And I can't remember what leverage they had. They have some sort of leverage, and they're suing the Trump administration for not releasing the documents. Let me write a tab. I'll see if I can find a follow-up video. As far as I know, nothing new has happened with that, but I'll see what I can find. Yeah, I'll have to look into it. But a week or two ago, we covered a lawsuit that was doing that. Master Meatball, find out who and let's work with them. This can not be swept away. Well, the people that are doing it, they got big bucks. I mean, it's not cheap to sue the federal government. But like I said, I'll see if I can find a follow-up video for tomorrow. Hey, thanks for being here, DB. Happy freedom to you. What's up, Slenderella? Happy freedom to you. Slenderella, most are gay because something happened in childhood with their sexuality. That's why they veer off the normal path usually. Yeah, I've heard a lot of people talk about trauma and all of that stuff. I don't know. But there's definitely a separation between gay people and these pedophiles and these trans people and all this other stuff. There's gay people who just don't care about nothing. They're conservatives. They earn money. They just happen to be gay. But this whole XYZ group that we've been looking at for the last 5 years, the Rainbow Crew, those are pedophiles and sex offenders. That's what they are. Like, trans ain't even real. Those are pedophiles and sex offenders. Like, you know, you can't change who you are. Can't change the way God made you. What's up, Digital Saints? Happy freedom. What's up, Not What It Seems? Happy freedom to you. What's up, Orchids? Now, but it seems a principal at a Christian private school in Oklahoma was arrested a few weeks ago for being a predator. I wouldn't be surprised. Orchids, yeah, I'll take a look. I always want to show O'Keefe stuff, but the videos are so damn long. What's up, Austin? Happy freedom. What's up, Social Chief? Happy freedom to you. Soldier Chief, I wonder how many countries have to be at war before they say we're in World War III. From what I understand, when we were at either World War, 1 and 2, they didn't call it that until after we were already away into it or until it ended. As far as I know, when those wars started, they did not call them world wars. It was either halfway through or after it was done is when they declared it, but I wasn't there, so I don't know. That's just what I've read. What's up, Xterra? Happy freedom to you. Now, what it seems, he was also the baseball coach. No good. That is no good. What's up, Jim? Happy freedom to you. Cheeky Chops, World War 69. Yes. Oh, Snooks, I see what you're saying. Yeah, I wasn't sure about that. Appeal to heaven, it's your birthday today? Happy birthday to you, Appeal to Heaven. Hope today kicks ass for you. Hope it's the best birthday yet. Thank you for spending some of your birthday with us. Happy birthday to you. I love birthdays. Ned, happy freedom to you. Suing the government is impossible under the 11th Amendment. Well, whatever. Pumpkin, when someone sues the government, it's the people that pay. Well, I think they're suing the Trump administration specifically. I don't know if that's the same thing as suing the entire government, but they're suing the administration. Appeal to Evan. The real question is, how long has child trafficking been going on? Well, I assume as long as there's been children on the earth. Just as long as there's been lying. There's been lying as long as we've had a mouth that speaks. Meta, I see what you're saying. Man, I didn't say that. I didn't say anything like that. You can be as Asian as you want to. I don't know what you're trying to say. Either way, getting into this next video, like I said, concerns grow over juvenile crime in U.S. City. I actually think this is a pretty good video because we're constantly talking about border crosser crime. Illegals are always committing crime here. We see Tom Homan always telling us, oh, we're going to get the illegals. Well, do it up, man. Like, do it up. We got 25 million illegals in the country. They want due process and all this other stupid shit. Now we got teenage gangs. Like I said, in this story, they're going to be talking about some subsect of Tren de Aragua, and it's teenagers. These are illegal teenagers. They're so brave and full of shit that they're out here attacking police officers. Now, they didn't actually hurt the officers because they weren't smart enough to figure out how to do that, but they tried. Either way, hit that like button over on Rumble as well as the CommuTube, and let's get into this.
The NYPD is asking for help finding 3 suspects accused of attacking police in Times Square on Friday night with makeshift weapons, including an umbrella, a basketball. What happened on Friday night was horrific. The officers, thankfully, are okay. 5 of the other suspects are in custody.
Our detectives got right to work and within hours identified members of a violent group known as Los Diablos de 42, a subset of Tren de Aragua. Several of them are listed in our gang database, and that's one of the reasons that we caught many of them so quickly.
Sources tell Fox the youngest suspect is just 12 years old. The New York Post reports that he was arrested last year when he was 11, the accused ringleader behind robberies in Central Park. NYPD Chief of Department John Schell joins me now. Good to have you back, Chief. Thank you for coming in today. I know you guys are busy. I guess there's a frustration on the part of New Yorkers as to why we can't round up these kids and get them off the street.
Well, we've been dealing with them for 2 years with Tren de Aragua. Same situation. These are violent. We call them kids. We like the kids are not violent, but they are. They're 12 to 19-year-old kids that are doing wolf pack robberies. Can you imagine being surrounded in Central Park by 10 of these kids? Or on the subway like we show videos today? Yep. We have to come to the realization that some kids are very dangerous to our society and they have to be taken off the street and rehabilitated. One of the kids we arrested, of the 5 so far, back in November, tried to rob a 77-year-old woman of a chain on the subway. And when he couldn't get it, he pushed her onto the tracks.
Why was he back out on the street?
The juvenile justice system does not work in our city to the extent that it could. We want to help all kids. We don't arrest any kids, teenagers. But again, like I said, we got to come to the realization some of these kids are extremely dangerous. Why can't they be deported?
Dangerous. These kids are here illegally, correct?
Right, correct. We are firm in our stance from the mayor to the police department. We don't care about your status. Your status is criminal. You serve your penalties, you go to jail for your crimes, and then if you're a migrant on top of that, you forfeit your right to be here. You should be removed from our city, from our country.
So why aren't they?
It's the process that I don't know why it's not working.
ICE, sanctuary laws, what's holding you back from, I mean, this group, if they're connected to Tren de Aragua, that is now considered a terrorist organization in this country. Isn't that enough to get them out?
Well, our sanctuary city laws are there. We cannot enforce civil enforcement. We can't. We work with our federal partners every day for criminal investigations, and when that takes place, that can take its course. But as far as the civil deportation, we are not allowed by law. We cannot. Under no circumstances are we allowed.
So there's a mayor's election coming up. Do you think that will change?
Well, listen, our mayor, Eric Adams, he's clear on this. He wants to be able to remove violent people from our city, regardless of who you are. Right? Jail or
but
jail in my.
Let's go over this again, because I just really want to understand. So these kids are throwing projectiles at police officers. They're robbing old ladies on the subway, surrounding people in Central Park. Why have we found them? And if we can round them up based on the fact that they are criminals, and you say the mayor wants to remove criminals, why can't we remove them?
Well, the criminal piece, they have to remove and go to, in this case, juvenile detention secure facilities until they serve their time in that arena. What ICE does outside of that, that's what they can do. We can't help with the deportation.
But they can all be sent to the juvenile center.
Absolutely.
If they're apprehended.
We need the judges to say, no probation where you can walk out. Some of you have to stay in a secure juvenile facility so they cannot harm New York City. These are our families, our friends, our kids. This is not acceptable under any circumstance. And when you walk through the timeline of what happened the other night, our cops standing there for a post, a big boxing event going on.
Outrage.
A wolf pack tries to attack 3 kids. We get pelted, but our gang database allowed us to know who they were within hours.
Which some people want to get rid of, including someone who is second in command in the city, right?
Our city council wants to get rid of our gang database.
Yeah,
our gang database saves lives.
Wake up. Okay. Thank you, Chief. Thank you very much. Let's hope you can, your guys can round these young people up so they're no longer a threat to them or anyone else. Thank you very much, Chief.
Hey, Sean Hannity here. Hey.
Well, I don't know if she did 2 lines of Adderall before having that guy go up there and interview or what, but man, she couldn't let him have 2 seconds to talk without blurting something out all over him, just puking up anything she could say. I don't know. I like that she was going at him aggressively, but like at the end, he was like, because he couldn't even say anything because she just talk all over him. Like, damn, chill out. Chill out. She act like she wanted to fight the cop. She'd have lost that fight. It'd have been Patrick Lyoya all over again, shot in the back of the head. Anyways, what a stupid problem. Teenage gangs called themselves Little Diablos, something or other, Diablo's butthole or something. I'm not sure what they were calling themselves. I'm sure they smell like shit. They aren't being raised right, and they're out here brave enough or dumb enough to attack officers, and then the officers can't even do anything about it. If they arrest them, they got to pretty much cut them loose. Going to juvenile is quite difficult. They got to like shoot somebody to go to juvenile. So they're getting cut loose. They're illegals. They're not even allowed to ask their legal status because it's a sanctuary city. So even if they do apprehend these teenagers, they can't turn them over to ICE. They're not allowed to even call ICE. So it's a perpetual system of teenage gangs committing crime with no consequence. And then they bring up Eric Adams and all of that, and Eric Adams wants to play ball with President Trump. We've heard that many times, but Hochul, the governor, she doesn't want that. And she threatened to take away Mayor Eric Adams' position and give it to somebody else if he didn't get back in line. And so that's what happens when you try to hang out with President Trump. Your comrades turn on you. That's why we saw Gretchen Whitmer trying to hide her face when she was in the Oval Office. Same thing when President Trump came to Michigan and spoke. He forced her to be on stage, and she's trying to keep distance from him and all of that because she's worried her comrades will turn on her. That's how these commies are. I don't know, but New York is a shithole, and it will remain that way until they do something about it. I mean, you know, it really looks bad on Eric Adams because Eric Adams used to be a cop. So him kind of rolling out this sanctuary city policy that he's continuing on, he needs to do something about that because he's just watching his officers get beat up by teenagers, and they can't even do anything back. And then you also get to the question where we were just covering a video last week where the news was lying, making claims that Ron DeSantis was deporting children, because Ron DeSantis has his own mass deportation going on. It's called Operation Tidal Wave, and they're not just going after criminal illegals, they're going after all illegals. And so the news was like, oh, there was this guy who had a work permit, not a work visa, and they deported him anyway. Well, yeah, because it's not the same. And then they were claiming there was kids being deported, when in reality the mother was deported, and she was allowed to take her children with her that still have American citizenship. So if they want to, they can come back. She's illegal. She had to go. They allowed her to take the kids with her. They're her kids. And the news tried to spin it, oh no, children are being deported. Well, now we got teenage gangs that are a subsect of Tren de Aragua. They're in New York. They're whooping the ass of officers. If they were to be deported by themselves, all the news would be all bent out of shape about it. They don't seem that bent out of shape about officers getting their ass whooped, but no, you deport a teenager for being a piece of shit. No, you're a bad person. I don't know. That doesn't make sense to me. Either way, next up, Kristi Noem slams Illinois governor for sanctuary city policies. Pritzker claps back. Chicago, right? Same boat that New York City. That's why I put these back to back, because it's the same problem in a new location. It's coming up next, but first we're going to read through the chat, see what you hooligans think about this whole mess of a situation. Zero G's lady, let the man talk. Yeah, she was having a hard time there. Hair juicer crimes. Yeah, I heard that when I screened the video. Yep, those crimes being committed. Russell, it's not civil deportation, it's criminal. Yeah. I don't know. I mean, I don't want people to break the law, but I feel like if the officer accidentally called ICE and had them show up to take care of the illegals, that kind of seems like a crime worth committing. 11-year-old arrested again at 12. Send them packing. Yeah. And it's going to continue as long as they let it slide. This kid will continue to get busted doing things, and they'll keep releasing them, and it will just continue on. It's going to get worse. It's not like the kid ain't got friends. Just wait till he tells his buds, hey, I went and did all this terrible stuff, and nobody stopped me from doing it. Even when they caught me, they let me go. Well, then all his buds are going to do it too. That's how it goes. Guess next we'll see kids on big wheels wearing Hell's Angel colors. I mean, it's coming to a city coming to a playground near you. Russell, those kids are bad and need to be removed from the U.S. Also, their parents, if they're here, yeah, absolutely. We're too nice on criminals. Too nice. Sage Pop, maybe minors need spankings before released. Yeah, their parents should have been raising them right, and if they were, they wouldn't be doing this stuff. Tree herder, go on and take your brat with you. Yeah, for real, 100%. Tony Reyes got to put that fear of God in him. Yeah, got to break out the paddle. What's up, Crystals? Happy freedom to you. Stoner the Doritos Locos. Is that what it was? What's up, Disco? Happy freedom to you. Yeah, Tree Herder, I've been waiting for vigilante justice. I don't want it to happen. I'm not telling anybody to go do that. But I'm shocked that it hasn't happened yet. I mean, I am shocked. But look at what happened last time in New York, right? Daniel Penny. They said that was vigilante justice. That crackhead got on that train. What was his name? Something Neely. I can't remember what his name is. Something Neely. I want to say Patrick, but I don't know what it is. Either way, crackhead gets on the train, tells everybody he ain't scared to go to jail, tells people he's going to kill people, he's going to do bad things, and this, that, and the other. Daniel Penny gets him, puts him in the chokehold, he accidentally kills him, and they're like, oh, this is vigilante justice. Well, yeah, if police would do their damn job, which they can't in most situations, and we'd actually hold criminals accountable in jail or prison or deporting them or whatever, you wouldn't have people thinking they had to fend for themselves. It's the whole reason we have officers. Is so if somebody stops you somewhere and wants to tango, you don't have to. You got a broken leg, you're 85 years old, whatever the situation may be, you do not have to fight these assholes. You can call 911 and have them do something about it. Now, on the other hand, this is America, and you do have the right to your Second Amendment. And if the police take too long to show up, you may have to defend yourself. But the whole vigilante justice, the whole no one's coming to save us, so I'm going to have to stop this guy, it shouldn't be that way. And it is because of these stupid sanctuary city policies and these low-life mayors and governors and all these people who refuse to do something about the criminals, right? The DAs, the prosecutors, everybody's so damn corrupt that if you actually catch a criminal being a criminal, it doesn't necessarily mean he's going to jail. It's like these are the problems that create vigilante justice. And so every time vigilante justice happens, they act outraged. Don't be outraged. They're the ones that cause the problem, you know? Stoner. I can't read that out loud, but that's hilarious. You got an XDM? There's only 2 guns that I know of that'll carry 21 rounds without an extended magazine. And it's the XDM 9mm. That's got to be. It's got to be a Springfield. It's that or a Taurus. There's a new Taurus, and the other one I was thinking of is the F&N 5.7, but that don't hold 9 rounds. Those are 5.7 rounds. 5.7 by 28. That thing's bad ass. I want to get one, but you can't find bullets anywhere. I don't really need an overglorified paperweight. What's up, Giggling Spy? Happy freedom to you. Time to put the kids back to work. That'll keep them off the streets. I mean, you know, they told us they needed people picking the crops. It's a good job for teenagers, even illegal ones. Just get them out there and do the thing. Keep them off the streets. Sage Pup. Maybe minors need spanking before being released, like when we were kids. Yeah. A little ass whooping goes a long way. I know that. Tim Mac, the FN 509. Oh, see, I haven't even seen that. I'm gonna have to look that up. There you are, Hooligans Island. Just for you. What's up, Mr. Satan? Happy freedom to you. Robert Neely. That's who I was talking about. Jordan Neely. No, Jordan Neely, not Robert Neely. Jordan Neely. My bad. He ain't gonna be too mad I messed his name up. Tim Mac. The 509 has 24 rounds. Damn. Yeah, I'm gonna look that up. I got a tab pulled up. Wayward, no wonder I'm always watching my back. We live in GTA 6. Yeah, did you hear that they pushed GTA 6 back to next May? I don't think it's ever coming out. All right, Hooligans, we're going to move forward here. This next one is Kristi Noem slams Illinois governor for sanctuary city policies, and Pritzker claps back. I don't know. Now, this video is about as pathetic as this news crew looks. They are going to demonize Kristi Noem the entire time. They're going to say that the presence of Kristi Noem makes the entire state of Illinois afraid, and they're going to demonize the deportations. Might as well call them white supreme pizzas. That's what they're going to say. If you support the mass deportations, you are probably a white supreme pizza. Either way, hit that like button over on Rumble as well as the CommuTube, and let's hear what these idiots have to say.
Good afternoon. That press conference was supposed to happen in front of the governor's mansion. It didn't happen there. It's not clear why, but the focus of it certainly was.
And Governor Pritzker has created a sanctuary here for those criminals and invited them here with free health care, free housing, free assistance, and facilitated them being protected from being brought to justice. People are dying every day because of these policies, and people are evading justice, and families like the Angel
was the focus. Noem, along with other Trump administration officials, have argued such policies shield immigrants accused of crimes from facing consequence. Amongst those joining the secretary today, families who she says have lost loved ones allegedly at the hands of people illegally in the U.S. Noem attacking Governor Pritzker multiple times at the podium, but Pritzker had some snark of his own ahead of her visit, making reference to controversy over her decision to kill a dog, detailed in her memoir. Pritzker writing in part, "We would urge all pet owners in the region to make sure all of your beloved animals are under watchful protection while the secretary is in the region." Now, the governor will be heading to Washington in June to testify about Illinois' sanctuary policies. The U.S. House Oversight Committee requested him, the governor of Minnesota, Tim Walz, and New York's governor, Kathy Hochul. Meanwhile, back here, Secretary of State Alexei Giannoulis also holding his own press conference this morning in Springfield, pretty fired up about Noem's visit and the Trump administration's handling of mass deportations.
And I think about this monster Donald Trump, and I think about these dangerously incompetent and cruel people like Kristi Noem.
Come on, man.
Who, instead of focusing on leadership and helping others and welcoming people, they're scaring the out of people and sending them to other countries without due process.
Low life.
Now, Homeland Security posts pictures regularly to social media highlighting the arrest of immigrants with criminal backgrounds. However, the agency has refused since January to provide data to WGN about the number of ICE arrests in the Chicago area, how many of those arrested had a criminal background, and how many have actually been removed from the country. We're live downtown. Brona Tumulty, WGN News.
Thank you, Brona.
All right. So like I said, Kristi Noem, she's a bad person. Enforcing the law, trying to kick illegals out of these sanctuary cities. Pritzker decides to take personal shots at Kristi Noem. We covered when it happened. Kristi Noem came out with her book, and she referred to shooting her dog or whatever to try and prove a point that she can make tough decisions as she did when she was younger on a farm and this, that, and the other. That sparked a whole bunch of outrage. People were all pissed at her and stuff, calling her a dog murderer and whatever. Even though nobody can prove that the dog ever existed in the first place and it wasn't just some made-up nonsense for sales to sell a book, but whatever. And I like how she goes there and she's like, yeah, American lives are being taken by these illegals. And the governor of Illinois, Pritzker, he's like, oh, yeah? Well, we should protect our dogs from you, you mean lady. Oh, okay. Yeah, we'll worry about the pets and not about the Americans being murdered and kidnapped and stolen from and everything else, raped and whatnot by these illegals. Nah, let's worry about the pets. Stupid. Next up, I don't know how you say this person's name. We'll go with Ozturk. To remain in Louisiana prison for now. This is the female pro-Hamas protesting student, whatever, that was arrested in the street by Fed boys. She was picked up for writing an article sympathizing with, I don't know if it was Palestine or Hamas or Gaza, I don't know, one of that kind of, in that realm. Either way, she was sympathizing with somebody, and the government didn't like that, so they picked her up off the street. Attorneys are fighting for her release. We saw Mahmoud Khalil's buddy. He just got freed because some judge or somebody stood up for him and demanded that he was released. He did get released. He had a little presser where he was telling everybody he's not afraid of Donald Trump. He's not afraid of our government, this, that, and the other. We covered that a couple days ago. This is kind of follow-up on the situation itself. Like I said, this female's name is Ozturk or Oatskirt, or I don't know how you say her fucking name. They'll say it in the video, but either way, she ain't getting out of Louisiana right now. She is still being held. This is a follow-up video. It's coming up next, but first we're going to read through the chat, see what you hooligans think about Kristi Noem versus Pritzker. Russell, they don't worry about the pets in Ohio. I know, they don't want to even talk about that. Haitians are eating the cats and dogs. They don't even bring that up anymore. Josh emptied 76. Somehow, they're a great gift to our country. Then they commit crime. They're brain dead who can't go to trial. Yeah, monsters. Monsters living with us. Hair juicer, Illinois is scared. What? Yeah, I don't know. I don't think people in Illinois are scared. Maybe old people. Old people might be. They don't want to have to, shoot intruders and stuff. But they need to get those illegals out of here. I mean, there's no excuse for it. Not at all. Get them up out of here. Josh 1776. Indian dude who tried to kidnap a kid from Walmart in Atlanta just got bond. Stupid. It is stupid. It is, but that's why we got to be aware of what's happening. We need to know our rights. We need to know our state laws and have a plan to be prepared to defend yourself if necessary. If this was your first day watching the live, we have shown enough stuff already, just today, let alone the last 5 years we've been going live. Just enough stuff today to know you need to know what your rights are, you need to know your state laws, and you need to be prepared to defend yourself if that day ever comes. Hopefully it doesn't, but we got our Second Amendment. Some states allow you to carry knives and pepper spray and all this other stuff, but the only thing that beats a bad guy with a gun is a good guy with a gun. And so it's kind of your obligation to be that good guy with a gun as an American. And so, proof every day that that's a real deal. That is a real thing. If you don't want to be a victim, you're going to have to learn to be a good guy with a gun. That's all there is to it. And so, shouldn't be that way, but it is, So, anyways, reading through. Russell, deport these fuckers immediately, expeditiously. Zero, get out. Yeah, exactly. What's up, Cheddar Steve? Happy freedom? Don't bring a pistol to a gunfight when you could bring a shotgun. I mean, yes. Leveling up. Sage Pop, oh my god, he sounds like a third grader trying to be insulting. He failed. Yeah. I bet he can't see his toes when he puts the shoes on, He ain't seen his wiener in a decade. Pumpkin, deport these people. Yeah. We need it bad. Told Kara they went through no process coming in. They aren't entitled to one leaving. Yeah, I don't understand that either. How do you come here undocumented, but then you need to have due process to leave? We got to make sure these strangers are read their rights before they leave. Okay. Do that on the outside of the fence. What's up, Proud Patriot Girly? Happy freedom to you. Dictum, they're eating the dogs. They're eating the cats. They're eating the pets. I'm just kidding, Klaus. I'm just kidding. He's looking at me. He's like, they're doing what? I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. Klaus is going to come out with the vest and the AR. I'm like, no, you got to chill out, Captain Klaus. Got to chill out. What's up, Lee? Happy freedom. Lee, if you want a 509, get the Edge or the CC Edge. I'm going to have to look that up. I've never heard of these guns, but I want to know more. What's up, Shenanigans? Happy freedom to you. Shenanigans, are you sympathizing with the illegals? Just because they committed a crime doesn't mean we have to commit a crime. It's called due process for a reason. Okay, but if you're here illegally and nobody knows you're here and you get murdered and buried in the sand, does anyone know a crime was committed? No. That's the danger of coming here illegally. And so, I don't know. I don't know how much they really need their due process. And on top of that, it can be done over a Zoom call. You can take 100,000 people, you can send them to El Salvador, pull up a monitor with a microphone and an internet connection, do a Zoom call with a prosecutor, and they're like, you're deported, and you're deported, and you're deported, and nobody can bitch about that because they do that with our inmates here. They do the same exact thing. They do it over Zoom calls, especially during the lockdowns. Face-to-face was not a thing. COVID would kill grandma, and so they had to do it over Zoom calls. So the whole due process thing, I don't know. It's just soft shit. And I believe in due process, but I also believe that we don't have to make excuses to keep 25 million illegals in the country who are raping, kidnapping, stealing, and killing Americans. And I can't think of one good excuse to allow them to be here. They could do due process outside of the fence. Like, due process is like, let me sing you a little song and dance before we deport your goofy ass because you're getting deported because you're here fucking illegally. So we all know you're getting deported. Nobody done the song and dance yet. So you stand on the outside of the wall, we'll do the song and dance, and then you never get to come back. And then everybody's happy. And so, I don't know. No reason to sympathize with the enemy here. Wayward, I heard the Haitian chicks in Middletown were eating the wiener, $5 plus tax. That's a deal, Wayward. That's a deal. Cheap prices. That's right, Russell. That's right. I don't think I can say that out loud, Josh, 1776. You got to remind me on Saturday where we can speak openly. Russell, I have a good business idea. Sell voodoo dolls of illegals. That is a good business idea. It's against my morals, though. I don't believe in practicing witchcraft. And that's witchcraft. But man, you would make some doll hairs. You're not wrong. Dusto, we owe illegals nothing. You're right. We don't owe them anything. But, sympathizers will sympathize. Sage Pup. So if liberals is crying in the woods by themselves, do they make a sound? That's exactly what I'm saying. Well, and we were saying this when the border first was open. When the border first got opened, people were shooting these people, right? Because they were coming across the border. They'd trespass on your property. They were taking down people's fences. They were killing their livestock. We even covered a story where they killed a bald eagle because they were going to eat it. And they got caught with the dead bald eagle. Now, in these situations where these farmers were coming out and shooting and killing these border crossers for trespassing, for damaging their property, for just being illegal, we were watching Americans go to prison for that. But we were kind of raising the question of, was a crime actually committed? This person's illegally in the country. it's starting to look like an invasion, which 25 million people occupy the country who don't belong here. Sounds like an invasion to me. If you are to shoot those people and they die, did you commit a crime? Well, the police are saying, yeah, but they don't have the same rights that we do. They do have certain rights. They have human rights, and they do get a portion of our constitutional rights because of semantics, because of the way it's worded. It says, like all people living in the U.S. I showed you guys that yesterday at the very end. If you made it to the very end of the live yesterday, I showed you 2 questions out of the citizenship test that people have to take in order to become U.S. citizens if they migrate here. And it was saying that there is certain laws that were for people living in the U.S., not specifically worded as constitutional or like natural born citizens or anything. It was not citizens of America. It was those living in America. So because of that wording, there are certain constitutional rights that they have, but not all of them. And so we got back to it and we're like, okay, but if you shoot and kill these people, nobody knows they're here. Nobody knows to look for you. How would anybody know you died here? Nobody would know. So it seems really scary because if you have people who were into kidnapping or they're serial killers or something like that, and we never know because they're preying on easy targets like prostitutes and stuff like that, people where no one is looking for them, we'd never know that they were here. Now with illegals, that's a whole nother off the chart kind of person. That person gets abducted or something bad happens to them, nobody knows because nobody knows they're here. And so that's a big problem. That itself should be a big deterrent for illegals to come here. Now the border's closed. Now we got people crying their little eyes out because of this mass deportation. They're saying, well, people who don't deserve to be deported are being deported. People who are not gang members are going to CCOT where they're sending gang members. Well, yeah, if they wouldn't have broken into the country illegally, they wouldn't have either problem going on. They wouldn't have to worry about being deported to a country they're not from. They wouldn't have to worry about going to CCOT after being falsely accused of MS-13 gang member. Now, I'm not saying this is right, but as an American, I don't have to fucking worry about these problems. They're not going to deport me. I'm from here. I'm not going to CCOT. I'm not MS-13. You know why? Because I didn't break into the fucking country. That's it. It's that simple. There's a lot of deterrents to stop them from coming here, and they still do. So when bad things happen to them, I'm supposed to feel bad? I didn't do anything wrong to them, and they shouldn't be here. That's it. Now, I don't want bad things to happen to people, but damn, you stick your dick in the hornet's nest, don't get surprised when you get stung. It's that simple. It is that simple. Anyways, welcome to my TED Talk. Zero, no, I did show the Pope Jeff photo earlier in the live, though. I haven't made it my profile picture because I'm worried I don't have the original photo to change it back. So we'll see how it goes. Pumpkin, they're not supposed to be here. That's right. Appeal to Heaven, Jim Carrey movie, Jack and Jill. He gets deported and they try to get him back in the States. That's funny. I've never seen that. I'll have to check it out. Pumpkin, they should have stayed home. That's right. That's right. Told Carrey, not our problem. Get out. 100%. Stoner, Etsy sells Trump voodoo dolls. See, we should go report their account en masse. Meta, tell Laken Riley's mother due process. Yeah, exactly. Tell the victims of the families due process. Yeah. People who sympathize with the illegals and terrorists and stuff like that, they don't get it. They can't hardly read, so, you know, that's part of it, but yeah. Hooligans Island, no witchcraft, no Ouija boards. Yeah, don't mess with that stuff. I mean, you guys do what you want to do, but I don't mess with that stuff. I don't want those problems. Slave Nation, illegal should not be considered. Well, see, and that's the thing. That's kind of how we were talking about it in the beginning. I got to be careful because there is certain community guidelines we can't cross. But yeah, they're not a citizen. And initially, we were under the impression that they didn't have any rights other than human rights. But later on, I figured out that they actually do get some of our constitutional rights, even though they don't deserve it. Which is another reason why we should have a secure border. Because if people step foot on our land, illegally or otherwise, they automatically are given constitutional rights. That's stupid. Now, the only thing that stops that is to not let them on the land. Do not let them set foot here. If they do, they will get constitutional rights that they don't deserve. So we should treat it like an important thing for people to be allowed here, not just come here whenever they want to, because they might accidentally get rights that they don't deserve. So that's why we got to have a secure border. And at the same time, they knew this shit. I didn't know this shit till I knew this shit, but those people on Capitol Hill, they know about this stuff. They already know all this stuff. And that means they knew that when they were letting 25 million illegals into the country. They knew that. They knew when they got here that it would be a pain in the ass to get these people out of here. And here we are, we're stuck with them. Stuck with them. Because everybody wants to cry about due process and other stupid shit like that. And we didn't know. We thought that we were going to be able to vote for Trump. Get the 25 million occupation out of here. And now look at how it's going. And so those people on Capitol Hill, they knew that this stuff was going to go this way. And they didn't do anything to stop it. And you see the people stopping the mass deportation. So we'll see how it goes. That's all I know for sure. Anyways, let's go ahead and move forward here. Like I said, this next one is a follow-up video. This is that woman from Turkey that was arrested in the street. She wrote an article of sorts sympathizing with some foreign country or a foreign entity of sorts. They believe that she was sympathizing with the wrong people, right? These pro-Hamas protesters always celebrating Hamas and all of that. No good. Now they're getting picked up by the Trump administration. This is one of them. This is titled, it's Ozturk, or however you say her name, is to remain in Louisiana prison for now. Now, people are all bent out of shape about it, but either way, she ain't going anywhere. Hit the like button over on Rumble as well as the CommiTube, and let's get into this.
No ruling yet after a federal hearing this morning for the Turkish Tufts University student detained by ICE agents. A panel of 3 federal judges decided they would take Rümeysa Öztürk's case under advisement. They'll do the same with Mohsen Madawi, the Palestinian Columbia University student released from a Vermont prison last week. Öztürk's legal team were hoping to get her transferred to Vermont at today's hearing, but it appears that will not happen yet. That leaves the status of a hearing this Friday in question. Now, when leaving the courthouse, Öztürk's attorneys shared their frustration with her continued detention in Louisiana.
Rümeysa has been detained for 6 weeks, and that is far too long. Even 1 day of detention for writing an op-ed is just too long and violates the Constitution. And what we're arguing to the court is that she should be allowed to have her day in court. The district court in Vermont is ready to hear her bail motion. It's ready to decide if she can be released.
Federal immigration officials originally detained Öztürk March 25th. She's now been imprisoned for nearly a month and a half.
Well, we'll see how that goes. Like I said, it's a follow-up video there. Haven't heard much about Mahmoud Khalil. We're waiting for him to go to trial or whatever, go to court in New Jersey because he lied on his visa application. But after that, it sounds like he's going to get deported. I wonder what they're waiting on with this individual from Turkey. I'm not sure if she's facing deportation or what exactly they're going to do with her. But either way, we'll stay up to date with it as much as we can. Next up, Antifa follows elderly woman with a cane to her car as she leaves a Riley Gaines event in Seattle. And they're telling her to kill herself. We're going to just hop right into this video because this one's short. No reason not to. All right, once again, like I said, this is in Seattle. You can see a few of the Antifa members there. The police is present on the left side. You're going to see this elderly woman walk in, as they said, from a Riley Gaines event, and they're mumbling and kind of yelling dumb shit at her. Antifa is back, but they're it's still not 2020 level yet. Either way, let's get into this. Make sure you hit that like button, and let's get this rolling.
You have to be a pretty big asshole to surround a woman walking with a cane.
Okay, so as you can see, Antifa there monitoring people attending the Riley Gaines event that was taking place in Seattle. Seattle's a shithole thanks to Antifa. It's very much like Portland and all of that. Covered lots of protests that were going on during the George Floyd days, and we'll probably be covering more protests this summer because it seems like everybody's getting all fired up. Anyways, a bunch of lowlifes doing what they normally do. They're a little less active than they were in 2020, but as things warm up outside, we'll see how things get more active. Next up, Minnesota Supreme Court has ruled that women's breasts are not inherently sexual and can be exposed in public. Although that sounds like a good idea, they bring up in this video, what is that going to do for sexual assault accusations? It's coming up next, but first we're going to read through the chat, see what you hooligans think about this Turkish woman continuing her stay in Louisiana prison while she figures out if she's getting deported or not, as well as Antifa bothering this old lady who was attending a Riley Gaines event. Russell, everyone in Seattle has sand in their clams. I don't think it's everybody. You can't blame everybody because Antifa sucks, but Antifa sucks. Zero. Yeah, we covered it 2 days ago, I think. What's up, 10 Man? Happy freedom to you. You building a new shed? Looks badass. Oh, I see here, Juicer. Yeah, I'll have to check that movie trailer out. Maybe we'll add it to the wish list. What's up, J-Dog? Happy freedom to you. J-Dog, if Antifa only targets old ladies, then it's safe to say they're weak and pathetic at this point. Yeah. Well, they've always been 20-year-old drug addicts trying to pretend to be soldiers and stuff. We'll see how it goes. They're not going to go away anytime soon. They are a little bit afraid of the cold, but we got a couple months of summer coming up, and we'll see what they decide to do with it. J-Dog, lots of them died on meth and ODs. Yeah. What's up, Muskie Boss? Happy freedom to you. Stoner, boo-hoo, they kept J6ers in prison without trial for over a year. Well, some of them sat 3 years. But yeah, nobody cries about due process for the J6ers because they were convinced by the lying TV that they're a bunch of terrorists. And then the actual terrorists, the illegals that are here, somehow everybody sympathizes with them. It's so weird. What's up, JF? Happy freedom to you. Meta, Biden is at fault for my sympathy is gone for border crossers. Yeah, well, it shouldn't be that way. I've never sympathized with border crossers or anything like that, but I also don't remember a time in my life where I was aware that there was 25 million strangers walking into the country, you know? Meta, want to be Antifa newbies? Yeah, they're newbies. Sure, I think Antifa's money got doged. Yeah, I think so too. I think that hurt him pretty bad too. What's up, Gordzilla? Happy freedom. Gordzilla, J6ers Boohoo, J6ers. James Field is still in prison. I don't know. I don't know who that is. What's up, DB Cooper? Happy freedom to you. Hidden Sword Cane? It could be Hooligans Island. Could be. What's up, BM? Happy freedom to you. Oh, 10 man, you're having it built? That's cool. Can't wait to see what it turns out like. What are you playing, Ghostly? What's up, Swamp Hound? Happy freedom. Summer of Love 2.0. It might be. It might be. They're being pretty active. And a lot of people were saying that during the election. They were saying that they didn't want to vote for Trump because they were worried there was going to be protests again. As if it was Trump's fault that they were out there in the first place. Now we got Trump in office. Now we got the protests coming back. And it's like, well, you know, that might be. It might go hand in hand. But it ain't Trump's fault that these dumbasses are out there crying in the streets, you know. Ghostly, I've never even heard of that. We'll have to Google it. Silver Wolf, it was a good day if I didn't have to use my AK. Yep. Good rule of thumb. All right, hooligans, let's get into this next one. Let's see where we are. Oh, yes. Minnesota Supreme Court has ruled that women's breasts are not inherently sexual and can be exposed in public. I don't know. Could be a good thing, could be a bad thing. Hit that like button over on Rumble as well as the CommuTube. Let's get into this.
The Minnesota Supreme Court just ruled that women's breasts are not inherently sexual and are not considered private parts. So therefore, women can show their breasts in public. But let's play this out a little bit. Let's say that some woman is at a concert and she decides she wants to go topless. Somebody, you know, brushes up against her chest and she feels that that's assault. But how can it be? Because our breasts are not considered private parts anymore. The Minnesota Supreme Court is just another example of how this state is failing.
Okay. Well, I don't have a whole lot to say about this. What do you hooligans think? Do you think it's a good thing that they can pull the tits out in Minnesota and not get in trouble? Or do you think this is going to turn into a trap where men are being falsely accused of sexual assault by random women walking around topless? I could see both sides of it. Either way, next up we got the last little bit of the news. It's Lefty's losing it. And this one's titled MSNBC's host Crazy AOC claims. Let me see. Yes. So anyways, that is the last little bit of the news. But first, we're going to read through the chat, see what you hooligans think about Minnesota's Supreme Court ruling. Snooks. I think my boobs are sexy and only for my home or skinny dipping with my boyfriend. Yeah. I mean, I don't know. You know, I can't say what women can do with their tits. I'm not allowed to, but it kind of seems like a trap. Sounds like them being able to pull their tits out is a trap. Pumpkin, your breasts are sexual. Probably not going to be pulling them out then. I mean, I could understand. Told the carrier, weren't we just fighting about women breastfeeding in public? Yeah, not that long ago. I don't remember how they ruled on it, but yeah. Well, and I think that's probably part of it. They were saying the reason that women should be allowed to breastfeed in public is because it's not an act, it's not a sexual act. And so they should be able to. And then the Supreme Court's saying that, tits at all is not sexual. So, I don't know. It's kind of a weird thing. Hey, thanks for being here, Angie Woman. Enjoy your dinner. What's up, Kirsten? Happy freedom to you. Stoner, you're for it? You're saying bring it on? Go see, it's going to be shapeshifter tits. That's what I was going to say. The only people you're going to see with their tits out is going to be shapeshifters. Dudes with boobs. That's what you're going to see walking down the street in Minnesota. And what do you tell your kids? That's the other thing. It's all fun to joke about this, but you're walking down the street with your kids and you got Timothy walking with his brand new tits out, his just zipper tits and all that. It's like, what do you tell your kids? This is normal. No. No. Throw a rock that way. I don't know. What do you say? Disco, they're going to be complaining that people are taking videos of them. Yeah. Sage Pup, let the groping begin. That's what they're going to say. Ghostly, but what is a woman? Yeah, that's a good one. That's a good point. Kirsten, what are we discussing? Supreme Court in Minnesota just stated that women's breasts are not sexual, so they are allowed to go topless in Minnesota. But that woman who was just on the screen said that what happens if somebody, you're in a crowd, you brush your tits up against somebody and then turn around and claim that they sexually assaulted you. And then we're discussing whether or not this is a good idea or not. I don't know, Stoner. Nice tits on a man is still nice tits as long as you don't get I don't know how to explain this. As long as you're not aroused. I don't know, Stoner. I don't think it works like that. I'm not looking at no man titties. Yeah, I'm just not. Totally care some tits should remain covered. I agree. J-Dog, well, the men allowed in women's bathroom failed, so this is their backup plan. I think you're right. Guess I'm moving to Minnesota. Kirsten, you're from there? Yeah, they're making changes, it sounds like. Here, Juicer, that sounds like communism. He says, hell no, you need a permit to free those puppers. Ma'am, those are pretty droopy. Show me your license. Man, that's communism. Show me your paperwork. You got your tits out? What happened with freedom of tits? I'm just saying. Kirsten, you're a Texan now? Heck yeah. Stoner, nice tits, bro. Don't do that. Don't do that. What's up, Sergeant Tripod? Happy freedom to you. Guess I'm finally a law even a bra can support. That's right. Disco, the Muslims in Minnesota won't like the naked stuff. Maybe it's a secret ploy to try and get them to move out of the state. Minnesota's racist. Ghostly, chicks in New York City have been able to walk around topless for years. No one does unless they're making a video. Yeah, I think Canada's like that too. I think in Canada you can walk around with your tits out, but most people don't. J-Dog, New York has full nude beaches, but public nudity is not allowed. That's interesting. Meta. Some women totally need a boulder holder, otherwise they may trip. You gotta just flip your tits over your shoulders, just for a light jog. That way you don't fall in Minnesota. I guess. I don't know. Hooligans Island, like Kanye's girlfriend at the Grammys. Yeah. She was wearing like a see-through dress or something like that. She's pretty much just naked. What's up, Jeff Reynolds? Happy Freedom. Since I've gotten old, about a B cup. Yeah, Jeff Reynolds, I know. I'm starting to be like, at what point do I start measuring the chest part of my body? Tactical. Once you've seen one, well, you want to see the other. Yeah, tactical, I guess. Once you've seen one set of tits, you just want to see them all. Slave Nation, I think you can already show everything here in Oregon. They have a naked bike ride. That's too much. It reminds me of the gay pride parades that were going on. It was naked people just wandering down the road in front of kids and stuff. Hooligans Island, they dance topless around parks in North Carolina like hippies. Yeah, I don't never see any nudity in Michigan. They must not do that stuff here. I've never seen anybody doing anything naked here. Slave Nation, you could already show for nursing. Other than that, no need to go topless. It'll be a false assault, then men thinking freedom to touch. It could go both ways. Yeah. Proud Patriot Girly, watch Working Man. It's a really good movie. I will check it out. I'll put it on a tab. Thank you for letting me know, Proud Patriot Girly. Wayward, is too cold up there. Yeah, you're probably right. You're probably right. There ain't no nudity up here. No, too cold. Hooligans Island, then the strip clubs will go out of business. Yeah. The topless ones, topless bars. Russell, is too cold in Canada to free the nip. Maybe that's why they don't do it. What's up, Little Irish? Happy Freedom to you. Little Irish. There'll be some ladies hold their phone, no bra. Yeah. They're just going to flap a titty over it and walk down the street with their iPhone. You know. Muskie Boss. I'm not reading that out loud, but that is hilarious. Stoner, just walk around Minnesota handing chicks dollars. They'll probably try and get you for like solicitation or something stupid like that. You're like, no, I was just tipping my hostess. Anyways, like I said, we got the last little bit of the news. This is titled Lefty's Losing It. MSNBC's host, Crazy AOC, claims. Let me see. Actually, you know what? Did we cover this yesterday? Let me see if we actually covered this yesterday. I don't want to play the same thing twice. And I thought about it earlier and I got sidetracked. So just give me a second here. I want to double check things. Actually, I don't think we played Lefty's Losing It yesterday. So we should be good. Should be good. Anyways, let's go ahead and get this rolling. Hit that like button if you haven't already. And let's get into this.
Losing it. And it's time to check in again on the lunatic asylum masquerading as a news network known as MSNBC. And let's listen to this hot take from Joe Scarborough.
AOC may be more progressive than a lot of people. I also understand
that she's one of the most articulate, exciting people in the Democratic field. She goes out with Bernie Sanders, and yeah, she just draws so many people. It's very good, very effective in hearings. They need somebody young like AOC, and again, it's not about ideology. She can carry the message forward for a Democratic Party that really needs to reach out to younger Americans.
Yes, let's have a look at just how articulate and impressive AOC is, prepared to be dazzled by her rare genius.
Even as a waitress, if any of you all else have gone like completely mad,
like whatever, you know, and like or whatever, like just like it's like this what people are starting to see, at least in the occupation of Palestine.
You use the term the occupation of Palestine. What did you mean by that?
Prostitute.
I think what I meant is like the settlements that are increasing in some of these areas and places where Palestinians are experiencing difficulty in access to their housing and homes.
Do you think you can expand on that?
Yeah, I mean, I think I'd also just, I am not the expert on geopolitics on this issue, you know?
Oh dear, that's AOC over the years. She really is the future. Please make her the leader, because I think she'll make Kamala look like a visionary. Now, Joe Scarborough has form for saying spectacularly stupid things. It's a requirement of all MSNBC anchors to say silly things or just lie to their audience. Remember when he said this not long before Joe Biden was forced to announce the end of his re-election campaign?
I've said it for years now. He's cogent. But I undersold him when I said he was cogent. He's far beyond cogent. In fact, I think he's better than he's ever been. Intellectually, analytically, because he's been around for 50 years. Start your tape right now, because I'm about to tell you the truth. And F you if you can't handle the truth. This version of Biden, intellectually, analytically, is the best Biden ever. Not a close second. And I've known him for years. The Brzezinskis have known him for 50 years. If it weren't the truth, I wouldn't say it.
Lying makes you
Biden weak. Ever, and F you if you can't handle the truth. Dear, dear. Now, Joe Scarborough was telling the dim-witted MSNBC audience not long after that Kamala had it in the bag. She was going to beat Trump.
When you start seeing numbers, real numbers, like what's going on in Georgia, suddenly you feel like telling Democrats that are bitching and moaning about what the Harris campaign's doing, hey, calm down. You know what? Victory is in sight in less than 3 weeks if you go out, work hard, and do your job. The opponent is imploding, and Harris is doing better than ever.
Victory is in sight. Sadly, it wasn't. It was a landslide loss that was in sight. But you know what? We never got any apologies for those untruths, but we did get an apology in recent days from MSNBC after they aired this bit of fake news.
What do you make of that? That he's just been a little less visible than I think a lot of people, Trump observers, expected he would be?
Yeah, well, reportedly he's been visible at nightclubs far more than he has been on the 7th floor of the Hoover building.
Oh, really? It wasn't long before we got this correction.
And now let's circle back to a segment from Friday's show. Frank Figliuzzi was on that morning during this hour discussing the work of administration officials. At the end of that segment, Figliuzzi said that FBI Director Kash Patel has reportedly been more visible at nightclubs than at his office at FBI headquarters. This was a misstatement. We have not verified that claim.
And here is another MSNBC favourite, this time appearing on another platform. This is Elie Mystal. And this lefty losing it loves illegal immigration so much, he doesn't even care if an illegal immigrant kills him. He wants you to know that.
Why do I care what their status was when they committed the crime? If you can prove they committed a crime. I say in the book, if I get shot, if I get murdered by an undocumented immigrant, please tell my children I did not care that they were undocumented.
Right. Now to New York Attorney General Letitia James, who was elected on a platform of getting Donald Trump and who is facing serious investigations over alleged mortgage fraud. Well, she's on the warpath.
You want me to sit in my seat and stand idly by and allow this craziness to happen? You can come after me if you want, but you elected me to stand up. You elected me to use the law. You elected me to go to court. You elected me to continue to challenge this administration. You elected me to stand up for the least of God's children. You elected me to continue fighting on.
Wow, joining me now is journalist and author, but
All right, that's Lefty's losing it there, and that does wrap up the news. We're going to be getting into our fun stuff. We're going to be opening today's door of the Advent calendar sent to us by Hair Juicer. And we got two funny videos of the day. First one's titled Baby Judge Judy Laying Down the Law. And our official funny video of the day was provided by Stoner. It's titled Alex Jones Tried to Warn Us. It's coming up next. But first, we're going to read through the chat, see what you hooligans think about Lefty's losing it. Russell Harris doesn't have the sense that God gave a monkey. Yeah, it'll be interesting to see who's running. If they're going to make Harris run again, or if AOC is really going to take the lead, that'll be something else. Happy freedom to you, Sibo. 10 minutes is going to take about 3 weeks to get that shed built. Well, I hope they do a kick-ass job. Pumpkin, she's an insane demon. Rappy, psycho much? Yeah, she's losing her marbles there. Told to okay. Oh, Laquifa. Yeah. She's having a hard time being held accountable. Well, I hope everything goes smoothly. Appeal to heaven. Letitia James. Bill Clay, those poor buffaloes can't fly because we keep eating their wings. AOC. Yeah, I believe it. Totally cares. She was trying to get her likes up. I love that. What's up, Jay Blazer? Happy freedom to you. And Digital saying she needs some milk. She needs something. She needs to go sit down somewhere. That's what she needs. Prop picture girly, she's so lost. Yeah, AOC is a dumbass. She was supposed to be TikTok famous, not a part of Capitol Hill. I don't know who made the mistake there. Josh 1776. I bet an AOC sex tape comes out if she runs. That's how she's going to gain popularity. It's going to be 2 nights in Paris all over again. What's up, bullshiz? Happy freedom to you. Jeff Reynolds, California deserves Kamala as governor. What if they got a governor that actually turned the state around, though? Like, what if California became a good place to live? I mean, they might deserve Hine Harris, but I still think that what if they turn California around? It could be something amazing to behold. I don't know if we'll ever see it, though. Either way, Snooks, you got to Google it. You don't know what 2 Nights in Paris is? I don't know if you can still watch that on the internet. It was a popular thing when I was a teenager. Just Google it, Snooks. It'll be all right. Anyways, like I said, we're going to get into the fun stuff. We're going to open today's door of the Advent calendar. We got 2 funny videos of the day coming up. But first, I want to remind you, hooligans, really quick, if you would like to support the live to keep us running, you're welcome to use the links in the description in order to send donations. You could do that by using PayPal, Cash App, Stripe, Zelle, Venmo, Locals, Buy Me a Coffee. You can even send crypto. Let's go ahead and get into this. Let's see what we get today. This has been quite the calendar so far. We have 3 doors left. It is looking rough. It's looking like Pakistan. It is not good. Today, we're opening door 22. Let's see what we get. It's a 9mm round. It just says good luck on it. No. If I made advent calendars, what is this? I think you guys were right. I think the extendo thing was actually a fishing pole because you can't even see it. There's like a little fake worm thing and a hook, and I don't know what this plastic ring is. Probably it's fishing line. So I don't know what the squiggly thing is. Whatever this is, a hook and some fishing line. Crazy. Let me find the Go-Go Gadget pole really quick. Not my wiener. You guys stop that. Let's see. This is what we pulled yesterday, and I had no idea what this was. Now, this does not feel strong enough to be a fishing pole, but apparently these two things go together. Either way, that is interesting. Very interesting. We figured it out. Thank you, Hair Juicer. All right, getting into the videos here. Let's get this first one pulled up. I went and found this one in the wild. Yesterday's baby video did well. Figure let's do another. All right, hooligans. This is titled. Let me get this cleared up really quick. All right. This one is titled Baby Judge Judy Laying Down the Law.
When did you start paying her back the $5,300?
When did I stop paying it back?
When did you start paying her back the $5,300?
I didn't.
Why?
Because we wrote a contract stating that I have no strings attached to the truck and that I'm the sole owner of it.
Are you crazy? Is there something wrong with you and your mother? Is there something wrong with you and your mother?
No.
I mean, are you both grifters? What are you? She's an 18-year-old girl. She got a settlement. You saw a little money. You wanted a big red truck. You're not 4 years old. You're not 4. Shiny, shiny, shiny red truck. Is that what you raised? Is that what you raised?
He's a good kid.
What?
He's a good kid.
Not the way he's responding to me. He's not a good kid.
Holy. All right, getting into our official funny video of the day. This one was provided by Stoner. Let's get this pulled up real quick. Oh, yes. I remember now. This one is titled, Alex Jones Tried to Warn Us. They're turning the freaking frogs gay. That's exactly what happened. Tried to get them. Alex Jones tried to tell us we weren't listening. Anyways, that is all the coffee I had for you hooligans today. I'm going to grab this Linktree link really quick. We're going to drop it in all the chats. We're going to read through, and we got the Pledge of Allegiance coming up next. What's up, Tori Wayne? Happy freedom to you. Those gay frogs, they'll get you. They'll get you. Hide your kids, hide your wife. Gay frogs are raping everybody out here. All right, there's the Linktree link where all of my links are listed. So if you'd like to make donations, join membership programs, or purchase any merch, would really appreciate it. All of your guys' contributions keep us running every day except for Sunday, because we've got to have a day to recharge those batteries. Definitely go join Discord. Discord is our free hooligan community. It's the best way to be notified every single time we go live. The hooligans are there keeping the conversation going 24/7, and we have 2 news boards to keep you up to date with everything going on around the world. So definitely go join Discord. If you're feeling real saucy, go join jeffmaclive.com. We now have a free membership for a diet version of the website. You'll have access to your profile, your timeline, and the forums. But if you get a paid membership, you will have access to our live stream area where our built-in chat has more ability than any other platform. You can post memes and GIFs and custom emojis and links and all kinds of stuff right there while watching the live. You will also have access to the forums, the arcade, Hooligans Alley, which is our private social media area. You will also have access to our advanced messaging system with the built-in group chats. So definitely go get yourself a membership for jeffmaclive.com. It's the home of the Hooligans. Like I said, we're going to read through, and we got the Pledge of Allegiance coming up next. I will set a reminder here, Juicer. Snooks, there's lesbo frogs too. Well, yeah, well, gay is gay. I think gay is genderless. Russell, damn, the frogs are gay. Yeah, see, Alex Jones tried to tell us, but nobody believed him. Oh, a fishing lure. Thank you, Zero. I knew what it was called. I couldn't think of it. Yes, a fishing lure. Thank you. Russell, Debbie Does Dallas. When I was a kid, it was very popular. I used to work with a woman named Lonnie when I worked at the automotive factory, and she was always saying that. Anytime she had the opportunity, she'd be like, yeah, well, Debbie Does Dallas. And she explained to me what that meant one time, and I was like, oh, okay. This is a little bit before me, but now, now I know. Debbie Does Dallas. Snooks, do you know what happens when I Google this crap? Well, yeah, Snooks, that's why I tell you to Google it. Heck yeah, 10 man. Glad you're getting stuff around here. It's going to look nice when it's all done. Snooks, I just want a gay equality. I know. That's what everybody wants. Hey, thank you for being here. Too old to care. Enjoy the rest of your day. Ghostly, dang, child predator frogs. I know, we're going to have to ban the assault frogs. Sage Pup, does anyone remember a wives' tale about if a frog pees on you, you get warts? I've never heard it like that. I heard if you played with frogs and toads, you would get warts, but I don't know. I've never Googled it, so I don't know much about it. Thank you, Pumpkin. You're the bestest. I appreciate you being here. Told the carrot bullfrog got his finger. Yep. Got more than he bargained for. Sage Pup, you love Judge Judy? Yeah. Appeal to Heaven, they got small fishing poles, cost like $6, just as big as the one you got. A fish is food. Yeah, I don't know, it's so thin that I feel like if I caught a fish and I tried to pull back on it, it would just it would just bend that little car antenna over. Maybe I'm wrong. Let's go do some cat fishing. Oh, I do every day. This cat sitting right here. Thank you, Rappy. I appreciate you being here. Ghostly barking toads are deadly. I don't know much about that stuff. Swamp. I mostly boulder fish. What does that mean? Is that sexy talk or is that a real thing? Teasel, rubber worm, that's what the thing is. That's pretty much where I was at. A fishing lure. I don't know why I can't ever think of the words I'm trying to think of when I'm trying to say them out loud in front of everybody. I'm telling you, God is funny. What's up, artists? Happy freedom to you. Teasel, turning California into a shithole so the Chinese can invade easier. Well, Canada signed a deal with, I don't remember if it was China or who. I think it was China, signed a deal with China saying, maybe, I can't remember if it was China or Russia now. Anyways, Canada signed a deal with somebody during the lockdown saying that if anybody was going to try and invade the U.S., they would be able to go through Canada as long as they didn't involve Canada in the war. And I thought that was fucking crazy. Like, okay, but how would you feel if we agreed to something like that? Like, yeah, you can invade Canada. As long as you don't invade us, you can go through America. Canada would be fucking screwed. Like, they'd be so screwed. Our military is going to protect Canada. So, I don't know. I just thought that was shitty. That was old, though. Years ago, back, like I said, during the lockdowns. I'm sure it's still in effect, but nobody but us was talking about it when it happened. Snooks, can you please wear a tank top every day? Thanks. Asking for a friend. I don't have enough. I need to order more. I only got 2 right now. I need to order more. I'm going to be dying this summer. Last summer, I was sweating to death. I need to get another air conditioner. I got one on the wish list. I wish they weren't so damn expensive. But yeah, I need more tank tops because I'm going to be sweating my life away this summer. Swamp, smash them with rocks. Boulder fishing, smacking fish with rocks. Damn. You're much more of a hunter than I am. Mike Ingalls, the extended pole is for blowing air into the fire when you're attempting to get it started. I think it's called a bellow. I could see that, Mike Ingle, because like I said, it's kind of flimsy for a fishing pole, but we'll see. Either way, if I need to survive, I'm going to try it for both reasons. You know, you got to use what you got. Either way, hooligans, it is that time once again. Please join me for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. All right. We did the thing. We were good to go. We're going to read through one last time just to make sure no hooligans are left behind. But we are wrapping this up. We'll be live again tomorrow, 3 p.m. Eastern time for the very next Coffee with Hooligans. I will keep an eye out for Caroline Levitt in case she goes live. Hopefully she doesn't do it at 8:30 in the morning because I probably will not be covering that. But they were supposed to have a press briefing today, and they canceled it, and they blamed it on whatever was happening with President Trump in the Oval Office. Now, that sounds terribly dramatic, so I'm going to read, once again, what they stated on the schedule, because I don't want you guys to feel misled here. Let me figure out where the hell the bookmark is. Okay. Boom, here it is. It says, given the president's press engagement in the Oval, the press briefing by press secretary will take place on a later day. So something happened that caused them to last minute cancel the press briefing. I don't know if it's because India and Pakistan going at it. I don't know if it's something else going on. So I will do my best to cover the press briefing if it shows up tomorrow, because I kind of want to know why they canceled it today, as well as what do they think about India and Pakistan. Do they really think it's going to be war, or are they just mad at each other right now and they'll get over it? So, like I said, as long as it's not at 8:30 in the morning, pretty sure we'll be able to cover it tomorrow. Otherwise, Coffee with Hooligans at 3 p.m. Eastern time. Anyways, we're going to read through really quick and we're wrapping her up. Yeah, 10 man, I'm excited for you. I can't wait to see it all finished. Yeah, I appreciate you, Tori Wayne. And happy freedom to you, damsel. Thank you for hanging out with us all day. Thank you, Bill Clay. I hope you have a great night as well. I wish Rumble made it so you could see the emojis even if you didn't have a membership or whatever. It's stupid that they show the little locks instead of showing you what the actual emoji is. Showing you the emoji would make you want to have the emoji, therefore incentive to purchase a membership. So I don't understand why they do that. I'm gonna write Rumble Rick again. He never responded to me about the video was skipping last week or whatever. Hey, thanks for being here, Meta. Enjoy the rest of your day. Steve S., do you throw them back when you boulder fish? I don't know. I'm learning about it as you are. I've never heard anybody smacking fish with rocks to catch them, but, I mean, if you need to, you got to get a fish. You're starving to death. That's one way of doing it. Hey, thanks for being here, Wayward. Appeal to heaven. Enjoy the rest of your birthday. Thank you for joining us on your birthday. Thank you, Zero. Appreciate you being here. All right, hooligans, I think we're good to go. Like I said, tomorrow, 3 p.m. Eastern time, we will be live once again for Coffee with Hooligans, and I will try my best to capture Caroline Levitt live if she decides to do a press briefing tomorrow. They said later on this week. We only got Thursday, Friday, so we'll figure it out. Either way, thank you guys so much for being here, covering the news with me, laughing and making fun of all the bad shit, because it's better to laugh than it is to cry. Go enjoy the rest of your day. Find yourself some good food. I'm going to try and do the same, but make your way back to us tomorrow, like I said, 3 p.m. Eastern time for Coffee with Hooligans. Huge shout out to everyone that made donations, joined the membership programs, or purchased any merch. I really appreciate all of you hooligans, and I wouldn't be able to do any of this if it wasn't for you. So thank you so much for all your support, and I'll see you on the next live. Until then, stand tall, shine bright, and that's a wrap.